Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. It is Thursday, the 23rd of May, 2024. Looks like we're about to get busy here. We've already had several storms this afternoon. San Angelo got pummeled by baseball-sized hail, 80-mile-an-hour winds. I think we're about to have our first tornado warning of the day here in Texas. And I expect that's going to be for a thunderstorm between Rotan and Marlin in the big country. We know we have a first tornado warning of the afternoon across the southern plains. That's going to be up in southwestern Oklahoma with a storm northeast of Childress moving towards Hollis, Oklahoma. That is not going to be a particular problem for us, but we do have several thunderstorms underway this afternoon.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Knox County in Texas.
And that's going to be for, well, we've got plenty of storms. Again, San Angelo, north of Abilene, northwest Texas. We've even got a few storms we're monitoring in north central Texas that we're keeping an eye on with some modest low-level rotation. But so far, it looks like the atmosphere in central Texas has stabilized some thanks to storms this morning. But we're going to be keeping an eye on that. But again, the reason we're here now is I think we probably do have a tornado trying to develop northwest of Anson, east of Rotan. We're going to switch over to the high-resolution radar here. And again, we're looking at is this guy. I am really surprised there's not a tornado warning on this. I really am. This is going to be a supercell southwest of Marlin, east of Rotan, northeast of Ruby, west of Stanford, way northwest of Abilene. This storm's currently moving due east at a brisk 15 miles an hour. Reason I say I'm surprised there's not a tornado warning is this thing has all the clear-cut indications of having a tornado or capable of producing a tornado. This is going to be east of Rotan near Royston. It's going to be just north of Royston by about 2 miles, east of Rotan by about 9 miles. Again, you can see the how hard it's raining mode, clear, well-defined supercellular. Storm, impressive hook echo. We'll switch back over and look at the which way the wind's blowing mode. Again, this thing has a well-defined couplet with it. I'm really actually surprised there's not a tornado warning on this. I really am. But again, I would not be surprised if we had a tornado north of Royston, east of Rotan by about 9 miles, northeast of Ruby by about 8 miles. This is southwest of Marlin by about 9 miles, and for what it's worth, the storm itself is moving east on Highway 92 towards Marlin. Marlin, you could get tennis ball to baseball size hail with this thunderstorm at any...
Picture from Brett Wright of the...
Alright. I cut Jason off there because it's set up now, but Mr. Jason has a picture from Brett Wright. Let's see if this is set up right. No, it's not, but I can fix that really quick.
Yeah, we got into about quarters. It wasn't too bad. It looked like the...
Jason, you'll have to check your NDI feed. I'm not getting anything from you, bud. But again, this is the supercell here west of Marlin, east of Rotan, northeast of Ruby. This is going to be moving east at about 15 miles an hour with the potential for golf ball to baseball sized hail in Marlin over the next little while. And then if we had a tornado develop, which, I mean, we might at any point, it would be just northeast of Royston at this point, kind of moving towards McCauley and Celotex. Eventually towards Radium. This is going to stay well east of Rotan, northeast of Ruby. Circulation at this point looks like it would stay southwest of Marlin. Well, if this storm turns right, though, it could become an issue for Anson. All right, let's turn this back on. There we go. That should be working again now. All right. So again, that's a well-defined circulation with this. Just northeast of Royston. There's no tornado warning. We don't issue tornado warnings. That's the National Weather Service. But I will say this, I would not be surprised if there was a tornado here, just northeast of Royston, east of Rotan by about 9 miles, southwest of Hamlin by 8 miles. This storm is trudging along east on Highway 92 at about 15 miles an hour with hail moving towards Hamlin. But again, well-defined circulation evident on radar, well-defined hook echo, could easily have a tornado there, tornado warning or not. Storm that brought baseball-sized hail and winds to nearly 80 miles an hour in San Angelo has exited the city of the southeast. A little late there, buds.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Fisher and Jones County in Texas.
Okay. Storm moving southeast out of San Angelo. If it's moving like this suggests, it could eventually potentially bring issues to Eden by about 6:30 p.m. The potential for golf ball to tennis ball size hail, wind gust over 60 miles an hour. No tornado with that at this point. Again, the new tornado warning is going to be with this thunderstorm up southwest of Hamlin, northeast of Ruby, east of Rotan. And we note they think this is moving more southeast now. If this storm actually does turn further southeast, I hate to say it, this could be an issue for the Abilene area again. But again, the storm's moving 15 miles an hour. We got plenty of time to deal with that. So it's not an imminent threat to places like Hawley, Abilene, Merkel, Ty. But we probably do have a tornado trying to develop with this storm. We'll go ahead and put a tracker on it. Then we'll take a look at the storms farther north in the eastern panhandle, northwest Texas. Again, if we had a tornado, it would likely be coming up to County Road 260 here northeast of Ruby. County Road 256, 247, 254. It's a pretty rural area, but it's still just northeast of Royston, northwest of McCully, well northeast of Ruby, well east of Rotan, southwest of Hamlin. Hamlin, you're getting hail with this storm. Tornado would stay southwest of Hamlin. The storm probably turning more southeast. All right, left split supercell from all that is moving up towards Benjamin and Knox City. Notice how this is just like a mirror flip of the supercell farther south. This is what we mean by left split supercells. In the northern hemisphere, at least. This is going to be moving northeast more quickly at about 40 miles an hour. This could bring large hail to Benjamin.
Tornado warning has been issued for Falls and McLennan County in Texas.
All right, it's going to be a tornado warning back in central Texas. This is going to be for a thunderstorm just southeast of Bruceville Eddy. This is going to be a tornado warning that does include some population centers. This is going to be for southern McLennan and Northern Falls County in central Texas. This is a tornado warning, does not include the city of Waco. This tornado warning does include Bruceville Eddy, Chilton, Golinda, Lorena, Hewitt, Robinson, Perry, Marlin. This is a tornado warning for a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado just southeast of Bruceville Eddy. Yeah, you can definitely see that. We've got a circulation near County Road 440, just northeast of County Road 451, coming up to Highway 7. Eventually, this will keep moving along County Road 440 up towards Highway 7, crossing over 440, 441 southeast of Bruceville Eddy. This thunderstorm is moving north-northeast right now, it looks like. So again, this is going to be a tornado warning for southern McLennan and Northern Falls counties in central Texas. This tornado warning does not include the city of Lott, does not include the city of Waco. This does include Hewitt, Lorena, Bruceville Eddy, Chilton, Satan, Marlin, Perry, Golinda, and Robinson. So again, if you're in this tornado warning, and I'll go ahead and turn the radar off, let y'all look at this. If you're in this red blinky box of doom, that means you need to take your tornado safety precautions. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you are not in this warning, you don't need to do a thing right now. And again, this is for a thunderstorm located just southeast of Bruceville Eddy, moving off to the northeast towards, generally at this point, kind of towards Chilton and Golinda. They probably made this warning a little farther northwest out of an abundance of caution in case we have some weird storm scale merger mischief. But again, pretty well-defined circulation. with this thunderstorm, this did produce a spin-up tornado near the city of Temple earlier, it looks like. Let me be abundantly clear in saying that by spin-up tornado, I do not mean something like happened yesterday.
Warning has been issued for Concho and Tom Green County in Texas.
So again, we may have had another spin-up tornado earlier in Temple by very weak spin-up, nothing like yesterday's madness, but this storm has a history of producing a spin-up tornado earlier, and it's showing a pretty well-defined low-level circulation now, just southeast of Bruceville Eddy, coming up on Highway 7 in County Road 440. This could pose a threat to the city of Chilton and Golinda, so y'all are going to need to take your tornado safety precautions as this thunderstorm moves northeast at 20 miles an hour. Tornado safety precautions: lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, we'd advise no travel on Highway 77 from, let's just say, Robinson down to Lott, Highway 7 from Interstate 35 and Bruceville Eddy east to Marlin. This thunderstorm may also be capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, and Chilton, you're getting an absolute lightning barrage right now. Y'all in Marlin are getting lightning barrage too. And again, this could produce a tornado at any time just southeast of Bruceville Eddy. Back up to the other tornado warning we go. And again, we're going to have, just like the last few days, and frankly, since pretty much last month, we've been almost non-stop with this, we're going to be focusing on the most intense life-threatening storms. So if we're not talking about a storm near you, that's usually a good omen. You can track the storms in your area with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. It's free. You have multiple interactive weather radars. You can click the radar tab. That'll give you the main radar, but we also have our alternative radar, and that's going to be with the More tab, and click Zoom Radar. That'll let you do that. You can get your local weather forecast, you can watch your live severe weather coverage, and more. I'm just making sure we've got this set up on the app correctly. Make sure we've got a playlist, and we'll be good to go. So again, we've got 2 tornado warnings. One possible tornado about 2 to 3 miles southeast of Bruceville Eddy moving towards Chilton and Golinda. A second possible tornado located about 6 miles southwest of the city of Hamlin. You can see that's actually just approaching Celotex, northeast of Royston on FM 2142, coming up to County Road 251. We could have a tornado here too. We have not had a ground report from this one indicating we've got a tornado down, but again, these are capable of producing tornadoes at any time. Okay, I see that. Very good. Let's get this set up. Yippity-doo, yippity-yay. My name is Bob. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, press that. Make sure we've got that set up. 1733, fire. All right, I'll send out an app notification for that. So again, this is going to be a tornado warning. This is for portions of Fisher and Jones counties in the Big Country. This is for a storm that is... I'll just put a little magical marker on here. We actually have multiple circulations, it looks like. I'll show you in a minute. But this is going to be a storm, at least circulations, about 10 miles northeast of Ruby, 12 east of Rotan, 5 southwest of Hamlin, and 20 northwest of Anson. And this storm is going to be moving off to the southeast now at about 15 miles an hour, so it's not moving very quickly. Again, you can see we've got a hook echo there. We've actually got a few circulations here. We may have a cyclic handoff process occurring where the circulation to the west is weakening and the circulation to the east is developing and becoming the new prominent circulation. Regardless, the circulations themselves are likely to stay southwest of the city of Hamlin. This could pose an issue to Anson eventually. We've got a report of baseball-size hail now on Highway 92 west of Hamlin, so this storm is dropping at least baseball-size hail. Makes sense. I mean, it's mid-May. You can get a shower, that'll drop hail. So, you get a potent thunderstorm, it's going to drop, gorilla-size hail at this point, or bowling ball-size hail. This storm is moving east. Hamlin, you're about to get into the nasty hail in the city of Hamlin. Circulation still on FM 2142, probably 4 or 5 miles southwest of Hamlin. Generally moving southeast eventually may pose an issue to Anson or areas west of Anson. It's not moving very quickly, though. We've got a supercell moving towards Eden, southeast of San Angelo. We had baseball-sized hail, winds up to 80 in San Angelo earlier. This storm moving towards Eden could be in Eden by 6:30 p.m. The potential for damaging to destructive hail with that, damaging winds. We've got a tornado warning for portions of northern Falls and southern McLennan County here in central Texas. This does not include the city of Waco and will not include the city of Waco. Possible tornado near County Road 441 and County Road 440. This is about 3 miles southeast, well, maybe 3 to 4 miles southeast of Bruceville Eddy. You can see that circulation we were looking at a bit earlier, not as defined now, but as we look back over at the how hard it's raining mode, you can see a well-defined hook echo still prevalent on here. And actually, you know what? You don't see this too often, but we actually have a secondary circulation very near Interstate 35 and Highway 7, kind of on the back side flank of this. We've got two circulations here. We've got one circulation near County Road 440 and Highway 7 between Bruceville Eddy and Chilton, and we've got a second circulation very near Bruceville Eddy and Interstate 35. Both these circulations could put down, spin up tornadoes at any point. We've got a lot of tropical moisture in place, and it almost seems like we're dealing with more of a environment that we'd expect with tropical cyclones or, you know, very tropical like air masses, where we can get these weak spin up tornadoes pretty easily, which seems to be what has happened down here this afternoon so far. We had a spin-up tornado, ironically and unfortunately, near Temple earlier, so now they've had 2 tornadoes at least in the last day and 2 days in a row. The one earlier, a bird fart, I'm not sure, I haven't heard of any damage. It didn't look strong in any way, shape, or form, but of course you get a little bird fart tornado that's able to damage your roof. It's kind of a big deal to you. But again, this is going to be a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. One circulation just east of Bruceville Eddy, a second circulation trying to develop now near Seagull. That could eventually become an issue for the city of Chilton. This storm is moving northeast at about 20, but we're definitely seeing some fairly complex micro-scale storm behavior out of this. And again, one circulation west of Chilton, second circulation showing up just east of Bruceville Eddy. These are not super strong circulations right now, but capable of producing weak spin-up tornadoes. All right, let's make sure we're not missing anything else. Yeah, we've got other storms going on. We got some storms in Navarro County, probably some hail northeast of Corsicana at this point with that storm. And we've got rain in East Texas. Again, none of this is severe right now. We'll keep an eye on it. Can't rule out some wind and hail. And we'll make sure we don't have any other sort of mischievous behavior out of it. We've got a supercell northeast of Childress that's moved into southwestern Oklahoma. This is going to be a supercell just north of Hollis, Oklahoma. In fact, if I switch over to our chaser feed, I'm pretty sure some of our folks are there. Adam Lucio's there, I believe, just northwest of Hollis, Oklahoma. Keeping an eye on this storm. It is just southeast of Dodson, literally a mile inside the state of Oklahoma from Texas. These storms are going to be problematic for western Oklahoma. They're going to have a busy afternoon and evening, it looks like, and eventually those string of pearls may make it towards Interstate 35 around Oklahoma City several hours from now. We've got a supercell, left split supercell. This is going to be crossing over Highway 82 west of the city of Benjamin. This is going to be moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour. That could have golf ball size hail as it moves into Knox County, moving towards Benjamin and Trescott. Eventually, if it continues, this could make it up towards Crowell by 6:30 p.m. with the potential of large hail, localized damaging winds. And eventually, if it continues, it'll probably cross 287 from Chillicothe over to Vernon by 7 p.m. with hail. So again, Adam and them, they're all up on the storm near Hollis, Oklahoma. We'll continue our coverage here in the state of Texas. We've got a possible tornado now about 4 to 5 miles southwest of the city of Hamlin. We have baseball to possibly softball size hail falling on Highway 92, now moving east into the city of Hamlin. We've got a circulation depicted on radar, not super organized right now, but we're going to have to keep a close eye on it. I definitely can't rule out the potential for a spin-up tornado here. And that hail core moving into Hamlin. That storm's moving southeast. It's not moving quickly. It's moving towards Anson, though. It's going to be moving down Highway 83 towards the city of Anson and Radium. So Radium and Anson in Jones County, you're going to have to deal with this guy. Should stay southwest of Stamford, at least the hail core, the worst of the hail, and the potential for tornadoes. But those of you in Anson, up 83 to Hamlin, be ready. The potential for baseball-sized hail or larger, damaging winds, and possibly a tornado threat. You can see we're getting a new hook echo developing out of that, so that may result in an increase in the circulation over the next while. You can see that impressive supercell here in central Texas from both the Abilene and San Angelo radars. That storm has clearly become a well-defined supercell, and in fact, you can see we've got a rappy, hooky thing of doom now. Yes, very meteorological mumbo-jumbo. This is going to be a tornado warning for northern Falls and southeastern McLennan counties until, well, it's over, technically. One circulation here approaching the city of Chilton from the west. Second circulation near or just east of I-35 between Bruceville, Eddy, and Lorena. Two circulations capable of producing tornadoes here. This storm as a whole is moving east-northeast, and we don't have super strong rotation being depicted at this point, but this storm does have a history of producing brief, weak tornadoes, and we're going to have to monitor it carefully in the event it is able to produce additional severe weather, which I think it will, because we're about to have, well, it's organizing pretty quickly here. The supercell itself is becoming more intense. It's kind of like I described in my morning weather roundup. If we had storms develop out here, you know, way out on an outflow boundary or something, we were going to have issues, and we've had issues, and we're going to continue having issues for a while. We've got a storm trying to develop over the fort, Colleen. We're going to have to monitor that in case that tries to develop. Let me look at this. It's just a shower. It's not really doing anything, but we'll keep an eye on it. But again, those of you in Chilton, you're going to need to be in a safe place. It's going to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And then in a second circulation now between Bruceville, Eddy, and Lorena. Both could produce tornadoes. The threat for damaging hail increasing on Highway 77 between Golinda and Chilton. And that storm is continuing to show intensifying mid-level rotation and could result in tornado genesis at any time. Quickly, we'll take a statewide view, show you what's going on. I suppose it would help to show you the radar. We've got, well, scattered supercells east of the dry line from now western Oklahoma into the big country, the Concho Valley. We had baseball-sized hail and 70 to 80 mile-an-hour winds a bit earlier in portions of San Angelo. We had a report of a tornado crossing Highway 7 east of Bruceville, Eddy. That was probably with this western circulation. So again, that circulation I was showing you, that was east of Bruceville, Eddy. Yeah, we just got visual evidence. It was down. It didn't look like a strong tornado, but a tornado's a tornado. New circulation is going to start to develop now, and that could be an issue for the city of Chilton. Chilton, you're going to need to be in a safe place. Nasty hail dump occurring now from Chilton up to Satan across Falls County. We've got a possible tornado now east of McCully in portions of Jones and Fisher counties. Possible tornado would be about 4 miles northeast of McCully, passing northeast of McCully, moving southeast generally towards the city of Anson. Hamlin, you're probably getting baseball-sized hail right now. We've got a supercell near Hollis, Oklahoma. That's in far southwest Oklahoma, northeast of Childress. We're probably going to have a tornado shortly near or just north of Hollis, Oklahoma. In fact, I'll just switch to the chaser feed, even though it's literally like 2 miles inside Oklahoma. We'll keep an eye on it. Back to Central Texas we go to deal with this storm. And again, we've got plenty of storms. If I'm not talking about yours, just assume your storm could have big hail, strong winds. We're focusing on the most life-threatening tornadic storms at this point. This supercell currently approaching Chilton is definitely becoming more organized. The potential for golf ball to tennis ball size hail now, if not larger. damaging straight-line winds, and the potential for a tornado. This thunderstorm moving east-northeast at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So Chilton, you're going to need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Eventually, this storm could pose a direct threat to the city of Marlin. We'd advise no travel between Bruceville, Eddy, and Marlin at this time. Marlin, you're also included in this tornado warning. That means you're going to need to take action to protect your life. That's going to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, at this point, we don't have confirmed reports of a tornado down. This storm has produced tornadoes in the last hour and a half. I think they're the weaker variety, but a tornado's a tornado, and if it hits your place, it's going to be a big deal. So again, those of you from Chilton to Marlin, potential for baseball-size hail is increasing now. The hail core on this thing's got attitude. I'll switch to a different product real quick. Let's see how tall this thing is. Wow.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Fisher, Haskell, and Jones County in Texas.
Again, this product, estimating hail around the size of baseballs now or larger. And again, this is on Highway 7 moving from Chilton towards Marlin. But the tornado threat would be on the backside of the storm approaching the city of Chilton if we get a tornado out of this. Damaging to destructive hail now just northeast of Chilton moving towards Marlin. That storm again, northern portions of Falls County and southeastern McLennan County. This storm will not pose a threat to the city of Waco. Waco, you're fine. You're not going to deal with this. Hewitt and Lorena, I think you're going to be fine now too. I think that western circulation that was moving north, almost northwest, has dissipated as far as I can tell. Maybe let's be very sure that it should be gone. So Bruceville, Eddy, Lorena, and Hewitt, you should be okay at this point. Robinson, you're probably going to be okay. Galinda, you're not going to deal with this tornado, but you may have hail. Nasty hail falling now, approaching Marlin. Let me see if I can't get some roads on here. And again, this is going to be approaching the city of Marlin, Satan, northeast of Chilton. Could easily be baseball, if not larger size hail. We've got the potential for a tornado now approaching the city of Chilton, which is here at the intersection of 77 and 7. This is staying northwest of Lot. Notice that little appendage we have developing now. Let me highlight this. See this? This could be the rear flank downdraft trying to come around, but given some of the behavior we've seen with the storm today, this is probably also a circulation right here. So we could have a circulation there. We could have a new circulation developing. Yeah, there's probably a tornado right just southwest of Chilton right now. We haven't seen potently strong velocity circulations with these today, but these have been producing tornadoes with circulations like we're seeing right now just southwest of the city of Chilton. So we could very well have a tornado developing or in progress now just southwest of the city of Chilton on County Road 446 and County Road 443, moving up towards Highway 7 and the city of Chilton. We could have a second tornado now trying to develop just south of Chilton as well on Highway 77. That would be moving eventually northeast towards the city of Marlin. Marlin, you're about to get nasty hail. I mean, you're about to just get owned by hail. There is no doubt about that. That is the ouchies in the hail department coming into Marlin. The tornado warning for Anson County has been allowed to expire. That has been replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning. For now, I would not be shocked if we have a new tornado warning for that at some point. So again, those of you in the city of Chilton, Tornado number 1, possibly just southwest of town by a mile or two. Possibility of a second tornado developing just south of Chilton by about a mile or two. So again, this is a situation where this thing's been dropping tornadoes left and right. And I'm not necessarily talking about, strong, long-track tornadoes or big tornadoes, but a tornado's a tornado and you need to take shelter. If you're in the city of Chilton, east to Marlin. So again, this is second tornado near FM 935 and Highway 77, most likely. And tornado number 1, probably coming up towards 1950 and 77, or Highway 7 and 446, not far west of 77. And again, this thing could have 2 tornadoes with it at this point, moving east-northeast towards the city of Marlin. We're not seeing, super violent circulations today, at least yet, but these have been producing confirmed tornadoes. I think because we've got a lot of low-level vorticity in place, we've got a lot of, low-level moisture and outflow boundaries. I think we have just a lot of ingredients in place that helped this storm produce tornadoes, even with relatively modest low-level circulations. So again, those of you in Chilton, you're going to need to be in a safe place. Those of you northeast of Lot, towards the city of Marlin, need to be in a safe place. Large destructive hail likely about to move into the city of Marlin from the west and northwest. At this point, this is the only storm with a tornado warning in the state of Texas. Back up in northwest Texas, southwest Oklahoma, we've got a storm near Hollis, Oklahoma. That's capable of producing a tornado. That is just inside the Oklahoma state line on Highway 62 northeast of Childress. We've got a supercell northwest of Benjamin with an anticyclonic circulation. That's a pretty impressive hook echo. In the northern hemisphere, most supercells will rotate cyclonically. But when we have splitting supercells, the left splits will go anticyclonic. They'll rotate in the opposite direction and move more north-northeast very quickly. Fun fact, in the southern hemisphere, these anticyclonic storms, those are the norm, while cyclonic would be your abnormal situation. Yes, history science lesson with Baldy. There you go. Merry Christmas. Okay, we've got a tornado down near the city of Chilton at this time. We've got visual evidence of that. So again, Chilton, you need to be in a safe place. That's going to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes, etc. Tornado in progress now near the city of Chilton. We'll go back to that. So again, that western circulation I was talking about has a tornado down. We're talking about this circulation likely now near Highway 7, and that would be FM 446 or County Road 446, I believe. But there's also a second circulation approaching Highway. Standby. Coming out a lot. Near FM 935 and FM 320, moving up towards the city of Marlin. We now have a tornado watch in portions of southern North Texas for a total of 7 counties until 11 p.m. Boy, let me tell you, I don't toot my horn very often, but I called it this morning in my forecast when I said we might have issues out here today with that outflow boundary. Do we even have a 2% out here? I think we have, a 2% from the Storm Prediction Center, and, well, that goes to show you. Apparently, I'm not as dumb as I thought I was. Cool. All right, so again, we've got a tornado.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Ford and Knox County in Texas.
Approaching Highway 7 near the city of Chilton, a second possible tornado approaching Highway, FM 320 and Highway 7 east of Chilton. Apparently, we're in a magical place in the atmosphere where we can get multiple tornadoes simultaneously. So one tornado there, we could have a second tornado here. This moving like this towards the city of Marlin. This moving almost north, if not due north. But it's going to be close for the city of Chilton, so you're going to need to be in a safe place. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So again, tornado in progress near or just west of the city of Chilton in northern Falls County. A second possible tornado along with nasty-sized hail approaching the city of Marlin from the southwest. This storm is moving northeast at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Funny enough, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm seeing most of these reports come in directly off Twitter, and I'm not seeing any come in on the official spotter networks. So a lot of these folks are too busy taking pictures and videos and not actually reporting what's going on outside of sending a quick picture on social media near the end of the tornado's life cycle. That's not exactly the most, well, I don't have many nice things to say about that, but I digress. All right, so again, those of you from Chilton, east on Highway 7 towards the city of Marlin, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, a room away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes, etc. Damaging hail moving into the city of Marlin now. Possible tornado, well, it was at least a confirmed tornado moments ago near Highway 7, just west of Chilton. Second possible circulation, anywhere between Highway 7 and Highway 320, northeast of Lott, southeast of Chilton. That's moving northeast towards the city of Marlin. This western tornado may try to move almost due north towards Golinda. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. So those of you in Golinda, you're going to need to be in a safe place in case we have a tornado with this western circulation moving north towards you. Those of you in Chilton to Marlin, you need to be in a safe place for the second tornado that's moving northeast towards the city of Marlin and Highway 7. This is one of these very complex situations where we've got a lot of outflow boundaries from storms yesterday, storms today. We've got crazy amounts of moisture in place, as you know if you've stepped outside, and just it's a very unstable air mass. So this is where we have a very localized but relatively significant maxima of ingredients supporting tornadogenesis, and for the lack of a more intellectual term, wonky tornadogenesis behavior where we're just seeing things spin up left and right. This storm's probably dropped, 4 or 5 tornadoes at this point. It dropped one near Temple earlier. It wasn't a tornado-warned storm at that point, but there's pictures of it, a weak tornado near Temple. All right, we're going to have a new tornado warning. This is going to be for Falls County.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Falls County in Texas.
It's going to be a tornado warning for Falls County. This is going to be for the storm that looks like it may be moving. Yeah, it's moving due east now. So this storm was moving north. Then it was moving northeast, and now it has turned almost 90 degrees due east. That's what we mean by a right-turning supercell. So this thing's moving due east now, right down Highway 7. So this new tornado warning is going to include Satan, Chilton, Marlin, Reagan, almost to, the town I can't pronounce. Jason, how do I pronounce Kosse, K-O-S-S-E? And trust me, folks, y'all have told me 50 million times. It's just a word I can't get right for some reason. So hopefully Jason will say it, and I can just use his audio clip every time I need to say it. I think I did it as Kilo Walker Sierra Sierra Echo before a few weeks ago when I couldn't get it right, which I might just have to do again. Welcome to the world of speech impediments.
It's Kosse, I believe. Kosse. But we also have Satin, not Satan.
Fair. All right, so those of you in Marlin, really, I'm going to need you to be in a safe place. Y'all are getting hailed on right now. You're going to get a bit of a break soon. And then it's going to come and say hello with the circulation, and that tornado could be near town. Again, this has been dropping tornadoes pretty easily. For what it's worth, I mean, a tornado's a tornado. These have not been, the strong, well-defined circulations we've seen on radar. I mean, yesterday you had the bright blues of doom over Temple, but in this case, we're dealing with tropical-like supercells in the sense... You remember years ago over the summer months after we have a lot of rain, you know, if it's one of those really wet springs or summers where we can just get these little supercells, almost mini supercells, to pop up in the afternoon hours during peak heating hours, and sometimes we'll see little, you know, quick spin up tornadoes. That's kind of what we've been dealing with so far with this. When this storm was back as like a weak storm or a shower, clearly we've transitioned from that to, hey, I'm an angry supercell now, because this thing has gone from to mode in the storm organization department. That's going to end up as an audio GIF at some point. So again, this is going to be a tornado warning for Falls County. If you're in Waco, you're fine. You were never in this. Hewitt, you're good. Lorena, you're good. Bruceville, Eddy, you're good. Golinda, Golinda and Chilton, I want you to stay in a safe place for now, because we've seen some wonky tornado genesis behavior where we've seen these occluding circulations on the backside of these storms continue for a pretty good while, and they move north. So that's why I'm concerned about this circulation still that's northwest of Chilton trying to make a quick run at Golinda. And Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, did we ever even have an MD out here? Or did they just issue that tornado watch out of nowhere for southern North Texas? Let me look. No, I don't see an MD down here at all. No, they just had to randomly issue a tornado watch. Called it this morning. Cookie for me. So again, these storms, and really storm at this point, the potential for a tornado approaching the city of Marlin from the west, but we could also have a second tornado still northwest of Chilton, trying almost, we'll see. I'm a little concerned we could have a tornado still there, and then clearly the next cycle, this is going to be our big uh-oh potential that's moving right east towards the city of Marlin. Marlin, y'all are probably getting visited by golf ball to baseball size hail right now. That's an ouchies, but the potential for tornado genesis still southwest of town, probably near 320, halfway between Lot and 77 and Highway 7, farther to the northeast. Alright, doing some housekeeping real quick. I'm going through our Facebook group, approving a bunch of the photos and videos y'all have been sharing with us. We do appreciate y'all sharing your reports with us. I'm going to make sure we're streaming on the face bag. I'm pretty sure we are, because Mr. Meteorologist Super Duper Jason's good at that. But I will make sure we've got things set up. So again, we have one tornado warning right now. This is for Falls County. This is going to be for a storm capable of producing a tornado now, approaching the city of Marlin from the west. This storm has the potential to produce golf ball to tennis ball, maybe even baseball size hail, and the potential for just nasty severe weather potential, including the potential of a tornado. And again, we got other storms in the Concho Valley, the Big Country, northwest Texas. I'm not saying those are any less serious, but in terms of life-threatening behavior, we have to focus on the most intense activity, which is why we're focusing on this. If you want to know what's going on in your neck of the woods, you are welcome to pop on over to the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. We've got interactive weather radar, storm chasing video, live severe weather coverage, and more. And yes, we do have a second radar. You can click the More tab and click Zoom radar. You can use that radar too. All right, so again, it is 6:04 p.m. We've got a tornado warning for Falls County. This is going to be for a storm capable of producing a tornado. Circulation right now is probably about 4 miles west of Highway 77, coming up towards the city of Marlin. This is now east of Chilton. Golinda, you're clear. Satin, you're clear. Marlin, you are the next up in the candidate list of potential issues. Reagan, you're also up next in the potential candidate list of issues. You're going to need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes. Helmets aren't bad ideas. And again, this is probably dropping some large hail. So we'd like you to pretty please be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And we'll go ahead and take a quick look at the state. Clearly I'm multitasking here, I won't lie. I'm doing some housekeeping stuff here. We'll get the radar... Oh, that was nice. See what happens when you try to do housekeeping and instead it pulls up one of those random short videos? That was interesting. Okay, so here's what we've got going on across the state right now. We've got storms. We're in the eastern panhandle, no longer are. Those are in western Oklahoma. We've got supercells in the Concho Valley, the big country. Those have large hail at this point. Up to the size of baseballs, perhaps. We have a single tornado warning. That's for Falls County. That's going to be for a storm approaching the city of Marlin from the west. That storm has the potential of producing a tornado, tennis ball size hail, damaging straight line winds, heavy rainfall. You know, all the stuff that makes for unpleasant afternoons. All right, we're good there. All right. So again, yeah, we're dealing with stuff. That's pretty much the gist of it. We've got a storm approaching Anson and Jones County in the big country from the northwest. That storm has a history of producing baseball-size hail. That storm eventually, probably going to stay north of Abilene, fortunately, but could pose a threat to, say, if it makes it, looters over to Albany at Shackelford County at some point. We got a left split supercell. That's moving northeast out of Knox County while weakening. It's over Trescott. It may make it to Crowell, but that's weakening pretty quickly. We've got a new thunderstorm developing over Aspermont. That may have just dropped some quarter-size hail in Aspermont. That storm's moving northeast towards rural Knox City and Rochester. We've got the supercell approaching Eden from the west. That looks like it's probably going to stay southwest of Eden now. It turned a little farther to the right, moving southeast. Eventually, that storm is going to be crossing over Highway 83 between Menard and Eden, and eventually make it down to areas between Menard and Brady on Highway 190. That's a hailer and a wind maker. That brought baseball-sized hail winds of 70 to San Angelo earlier. All right, looks like we're starting to get a bit of a Rappy Hook signature, so the tornado threat is increasing near Marlin. Let's go ahead and get back to it. So again, what I mean by Rappy Hook signature, when we zoom in tight here, first you could see hail near city of Marlin. This is what I mean right here. This hook is starting to wrap around. The rear flank downdraft swinging around. That helps increase the low-level vorticity and spin with this. Think of a ballerina or a skater. They're trying to rotate around. You know, they're doing the magical hula hoop thing. Arms out. Spin slower. Bring their arms into their body. They're able to rotate faster. Similar principle applies here. And as this rear flank downdraft swings around, that can usually spin up a tornado at times. Okay, we've got a tornado warning up near Hollis to west of Altus, Oklahoma. Now we've got a tornado warning on I-40 near Sire and Eric in western Oklahoma. Okay, good to know for situational awareness. So again, those of you in Marlin, we encourage you to stay in a safe place. Highest tornado threat is along and south of Highway 7 for now. This could be crossing over Highway 7, or excuse me, crossing over Highway 6. This is near or just south of the city of Marlin in the next 15 minutes. This thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado at any time and has a history of producing tornadoes. All right, clear that out. Hello, dog. How's life? where you abandoned and thus have decided to infiltrate the office and enjoy your bed? Very well. All right, so...
A new tornado warning has been issued for Jones County in Texas.
Oh, good. So now we've got this thing going tornadic again. So, yeah, it's kind of trying, isn't it? So those of you in the city of Anson, congratulations. You've been upgraded to a tornado warning. I'm sure you're very happy about it. Those of you in Funston, I'm sure you're thrilled too, but alas. Jones County, the cities of Anson and Funston. In Jones County, you're now under a tornado warning. Have fun, Brandy. Don't hurt yourself. Meh, yeah. So those of you in Anson over to Funston are going to need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, you can see the blinky red box of doom here in Jones County around the city of Anson to Funston. Funston's located on 180, a few miles east of Anson. So if you're in the big red blinky box of doom, you need to take shelter. That's the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Back in Falls County, a tornado is likely developing now over the Brazos River, very near... Yeah, I'd say we definitely have a tornado down. We need to get back to that. So again, Anson to Funston, Jones County, north of Abilene, be in shelter. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Back here, Marlin, you need to be in a safe place now. We've got a probable tornado now developing, the strongest velocity couplet we've seen today. This thing's raising all sorts of alarm bells. This is about to cross over the Brazos River, southwest of Marlin, moving east towards Highway 6. We'll put some roads on here, and again, you can see that hook has kind of evolved into a bounded weak echo region here. Nasty, nasty look to that, and a pretty good chance we've got a tornado down here. So again, this is a probable tornado in progress now, about to cross over the Brazos River, which would make it a waterspout briefly. This is only 2 to 3 miles southwest of Marlin. This is moving east, slightly east-northeast. It is either going to pass just south of Marlin or it's going to curve northeast into Marlin. These circulations tend to turn north when they start to weaken. So if this occurs at a real bad time, this is going to move into Marlin. So again, a urgent call to action. Those of you in Reagan all the way up to Marlin on Highway 6, we really want you to be in a safe place. That's the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, I'm putting some road names on here just for situational awareness, hopefully to give you all some ideas of what we're looking at here. But again, you've got Highway 6, Highway 7, the Highway 6 / bypass split just southeast of Marlin. We've got this storm moving over the Brazos River now, moving towards Highway 6 and the Big Creek Stream. Oh man, that thing's wrapped up tighter than a tick's behind. So again, we'll get an updated scan here in just a second. Oh, that was an unpleasant button to press. Let's not do that. But again, this thing is really wrapped up tight. There is probably a tornado here. And let's see what the velocity scan does here on this next update. Was that the update? That's not the update. Okay. This could be a stronger tornado trying to develop now. Yeah. So again, those of you in Marlin to Reagan in Falls County, we need you to be in a safe place immediately. Tornado likely crossing County Road 301 around the Brazos River. We'll check, make sure we have no streams from near Hollis, Oklahoma. Okay, we don't. So again, this is an urgent call to action now. Those of you in Marlin to Reagan, Highway 6 in Falls County, need to be in a safe place. A tornado is likely developing or in progress. This could be a more potent tornado developing now. This is definitely the most organized signature we've seen today. So please be in a safe place. Anyone from Marlin all the way south through the Brazos River to the city of Reagan, northwest of Bremen, west of Koss, need to be in a safe place. If you are in Satan, Chilton, and Lot, you're clear. This is east of you moving away. Hi, dog. Can I help you? So those of you in Marlin to Reagan. Reagan, by the way, is located right here. That's Reagan. Need to be in a safe place now. A tornado likely in progress is going to cross over Highway 6 between Marlin and Reagan shortly. This is going to be real close to Reagan, or excuse me, real close to Marlin, I think. So please be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We need you to do that now. We would have preferred you to do it, 20 minutes ago when we told you initially to do it, but if we just caught you, that's a-okay. We need you to be in a safe place. So again, this is in Falls County. Let me zoom out and show you so those of you outside of this area can at least get a better idea of where I'm talking about. I'll turn the live scan on. We're talking about way southeast of Waco, northeast of Temple, moving towards Highway 6. And yeah, you can see that there, moving right east along Highway 7 towards Coss. Well, that's the new reflectivity, so you can see this is right over, or now just east of the, it's pretty much right on the Brazos River, coming up on the, or east of the Brazos River now by about a mile, coming up on the Big Creek Stream. We'll switch over to the which way the wind's blowing mode. And again, yeah, we've got a tornado here. I have no doubt about that based on this velocity signature. We likely have a tornado down. So again, this could be a strong tornado in progress now coming up to the southern sections of Marlin. This may pass a mile or two south of the city of Marlin, if that. But this is going to be a close call. So again, what could be a strong tornado now in progress, 1 to 2 miles south-southwest of the city of Marlin, moving east. This will be crossing over Highway 6. Be quiet. Near County Road 201 up to where 6 and the bypass split just south of Marlin. So you need to be in a safe place. It's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. And again, I'll press some buttons here. Again, this thing's got attitude. Coming up on the Big Creek Stream, just south of the city of Marlin, in Falls County, northwest of Reagan. Tornado likely in progress. We've got winds moving away from the radar down in Granger at about 60 miles an hour. You can see the latest velocity scan there. We'll do some magical buttons here. We've got winds moving away from the radar, well, technically at about 65 miles an hour. Ignore the velocity flip over. That's a product issue, not a bad data issue. And then we've got winds moving away from the radar at about 65 miles an hour. We got winds moving towards the radar at 70, so we've got a nearly 140 mile an hour gate-to-gate couplet now. Possible tornado is now about 5 miles northwest of the city of Anson, back in Jones County in the Big Country. That's going to be out here. We'll take a quick look. This does not look as impressive as the storm back in central Texas, but again, those of you in the city of Anson, a possible tornado coming down Highway 83 moving southeast at about 20 miles an hour now could impact the city of Anson in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Please be in a safe place if you're in portions of central Jones County near the city of Anson. We need to go back to this storm. This probably has a strong tornado in progress now coming up on Highway 6, County Road 201, between the 6 bypass split on the south side of Marlin and County Road 201 northwest of the city of Reagan. This tornado is moving due east at about 25 miles an hour. And again, you can see the latest scan there. This is a well-defined example of a tornado probably in progress. So again, we want you to be in a safe place. We don't have any ground reports. This is down, but I'm just basing it off some of my, knowledge here based on how this looks. There's probably a tornado here approaching County Road 201 just southeast of the city of Marlin. This is going to cross Highway 6 between Reagan and Marlin. Marlin, the way it looks now, this, unless something really weird happens, this probably is going to stay just south of Marlin, but you need to still be in a safe place if you're in the city of Marlin. Okay, is that a new tornado warning back in the Concho Valley now? So this thing's going tornadic now back east of San Angelo. Stand by. Yeah. Southwest of Eden, it looks like that's starting to go tornadic. So again, we're going to have a tornado warning for this.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Concho and Menard County in Texas.
All right, it's going to be a tornado warning for this storm now. This is going to be southwest of Eden. This is going to be over rural areas, so we don't have a lot of folks out here. This is well southeast of San Angelo. This eventually could pass just north of Menard. But again, tornado warning now. This is going to be for northwestern Menard, southwestern Concho counties. Possible tornado located near Live Oak, 13 miles southwest of Eden, moving southeast to 25. This tornado warning includes rural areas of northwestern Menard and southwestern Concho counties, including Highway 83 near the Menard Concho County line and Live Oak. So again, southwest of Eden by about 13 miles, possible tornado. Possible tornado 5 miles northwest of Anson, moving southeast at about 15 to 20. Let's say this is probably closer to 3 miles northwest of Anson now, moving southeast. Anson, you need to be in a safe place. Marlin, you needed to be in a safe place 25 bloody minutes ago. Probably not the best wordage, but hey, you know what? That's what happens if you don't take shelter sometimes. You get an ouchies. Those of you on Highway 6, you're going to need to be in a safe place between Reagan and Menard, or excuse me, between Reagan and Marlin, not, Menard. That's only 300 miles away. After this storm is going to be moving it's still moving almost due east. This could be an issue for Highway 14 between Braymond and Coss here in the next 30 minutes. Again, tornado likely now very near the south sides of the city of Marlin. Not seeing any debris signatures, that's good, but again, this is real close to the city of Marlin. No, that's just bad data there. That's not a debris signature. Probably not. It might be. But again, velocity-wise, this thing remains very strong. Southeast, just southeast of Marlin. So Marlin, we want you to be in a safe place. Lowest floors, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Those of you in Coss to Braymond, you're next. You're going to need to be in a safe place. From Highway 6 to Highway 14, between Marlin and Coss. Highway 7 between Marlin and Coss. Highway 14 between Maitland and Let's try this. Between Braymond and Coss. And Highway 6 between Marlin and Reagan. See, that's what happens when I try to talk too fast. So again, those of you from Marlin to Reagan to Coss to Braymond need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You can see now the strongest circulation is just southeast of the city of Marlin. This is going to be moving almost east, a bit east-southeast, towards Highway 14, near or just south of Coss, north of Braymond. So you're going to need to be in a safe place. We'll switch back over to the how hard it's raining mode, and we'll turn the street labels back on. Try to get you some more labels out here. County Road 223, 229, Bald Hill Road, sounds like my kind of road, County Road 227, County Road 246, County Road 257, County Road 272, County Road 273, Highway 14, County Road 267, County Road 249. And again, this is moving east, southeast. The potential, if not probability, of a tornado in progress just southeast of the city of Marlin. But again, those of you in Marlin, you need to stay in a safe place. If this thing does one of these wonky turns north, this is going to be real close to the city of Marlin. Reagan, same story. You need to be in a safe place. That's the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We'll get an updated velocity scan in just a second. You'll see that beam come sweeping around. And there you go. Circulation continues to move east, approaching Bald Hill Road, County Road 223, County Road 227 in Falls County. Moving east towards County Road 229, 257, 249, 272, 273. Coss. Over, down, from Reagan, all the way down towards Braymond. We want no travel on FM 413 between Reagan and Coss. We want no travel on Highway 14 between Braymond and Coss. We want no travel south of Highway 7, east of Highway 6, to Highway 14, the little triangle between 714 and 6. It's a pretty good way to describe it. If we have a tornado in progress in Jones County, it's going to be approaching the city of Anson in the next few minutes. Let's go take a quick look at these other tornado warnings. We have two more. Tornado warning between Eden and Menard on Highway 83. This storm capable of producing damaging hail, strong winds, maybe a tornado near Live Oak. That storm over very rural portions of southern Concho, northern Menard counties. This will be crossing over Highway 83 on the Menard-Concho County line. It should stay north of the city of Menard unless it turns further southeast, in which case Menard would be under a direct threat. Otherwise, this is going to be over rural areas. We'd advise no travel between 87 and 190 on 83 at this time. Storm is moving east-southeast at 20 miles an hour. Back north, flash flood warning for city of San Angelo. Y'all got rocked earlier by baseball-sized hail, damaging winds. Storm now approaching Anson, just southwest of Stamford. Hail core north of 180 for now, but it's moving towards Looters. Anson, you've got a storm capable of producing a tornado just north of town. That's on Highway 277. That'll be moving southeast. May stay just north of Anson, with Anson getting the rear flank downdraft winds moving southeast at about 25 miles an hour. This could bring a bit of hail to Looters. It may stay just west of town. Otherwise, this is probably going to make a run at areas northeast of Abilene, west of Albany, over the next hour. Otherwise, we have no other severe storms in the state of Texas. We do note thunderstorms developing in the DFW Metroplex. Storm with pea-sized hail in Saginaw. Storm over West Dallas, Cockrell Hill, about to move north over downtown Dallas. Both those storms should be moving northeast at about 25 miles an hour. We do have a pretty good storm, actually, southwest of Athens. That could have some large hail. That may have a severe thunderstorm warning shortly from the loud yapping computer lady over here. And that would move probably towards Smith County. So that may bring some hail to parts of Tyler, Noonday, Moore Station in the next hour. Whoa, boy, that thing got mad. Okay, let's get back to this. This thing's having an attitude problem. Holy moly, sweet guacamole. Let me tell you what, when I was talking about that hook wrapping around earlier, I did not want an example like this. I mean, this thing's just a whole lot of nope. I mean, this thing's doing bad things, folks. That hook is wrapping around. This is clear-cut indications. There's your inflow. I mean, this thing's wrapped up tighter than the ticks behind. This would be like trying to fit a baseball through a garden hose. I mean, this thing's got big attitude. This could have a tornado in it at any time if it hasn't already. Those of you in Coss, you're going to need to be in a safe place. It's going to be lowest floors, center room, away from windows. At 6:27 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is 7 miles southeast of Marlin, moving east at 25 miles an hour. If you're in the city of Marlin, you're clear. You've got a nasty storm just to your southeast, but you're clear from the tornado. This storm is moving towards Reagan. Well, it's going to stay northeast of Reagan, McCallahan. This is going to be an issue for Highway 14 between Braymond and Coss soon, and a new tornado warning will be needed soon. That will take this into portions of Limestone and Leon counties. So again, thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles southeast of Marlin, moving east at 25 miles an hour. I mean, owie, that's just that's all sorts of an ouchies. That's very impressive reflectivity structure, but that's not good. I mean, that's just nasty sauce right there. And again, you can see the storm track. This is the track over the next hour. In an hour, this could be approaching Marquez. Moving due east, about 25 miles an hour. Potential for golf ball size hail at least. Potential for a tornado, damaging winds. Anson, if we have a tornado, it would be just northeast of town, but it looks like they're going to let that tornado warning expire and replace it with a severe thunderstorm warning for places like Looters in Albany County.
A thunderstorm warning has been issued for Jones and Shackelford County in Texas.
So let's go over the tornado warnings we have now. It's 6:30 p.m., the 23rd of May, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. Possible tornado now is 8 to 9 miles southeast of Marlin, a mile or two northwest of Reagan. Moving east at 25 miles an hour towards Highway 14 between Coss and Braymond. If you are between Reagan Cost and Bremen, you need to be in a safe place here in Falls County. That's the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes. Grab a helmet if you got one handy. If not, yeah, it's okay. Just go take shelter. Alright, we've got a second tornado warning back in the Concho Valley. It's going to be for a supercell in the middle of no man's land. Not really, it's just a relatively unincorporated area. It's going to be southwest of Eden by, like 15 to 20 miles, probably. Moving southeast to 25. This will be crossing Highway 83 on the Menard-Concho County line. Moving southeast to 25. This could be approaching Highway 190 in about an hour northeast of Menard. Further north, we've got a severe thunderstorm. That tornado warning's going bye-bye. We got a severe thunderstorm capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, and, there is still a circulation. It's not super organized, or at least strong, but it's present, and it is crossing over Highway 277 just north of the Highway 83 split, just north of Anson. This storm's going to be moving east-southeast at about 25 miles an hour. The potential for golf ball size hail, damaging straight line winds, and I can't rule out a tornado, to be completely honest with you. So again, call to action: if you are if you're near Reagan and Falls County, over to Koss and Bremen, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes. Grab a helmet if you got one handy. If not, that's okay. Just go to a safe place. It'll be okie dokie. We'll go back to that. And again, let's just take a look at the statewide view real quick. We'll turn on radar. I'll knock this loop down to the last hour. Show you what we've got going on. Again, we're not dealing with many thunderstorms today, but those we have are rowdy. We've got a storm near Anson that could have a tornado. We have a storm 15 miles southwest of Eden in the Concho Valley that could have a tornado. We've got a storm southeast of Marlin, just east of Reagan, that likely has a tornado. We've got storms from near Athens moving towards Tyler. That could have some hail. We've got a few showers, in the DFW Metroplex. Those aren't doing much, fortunately, but we'll keep an eye out just in case they try to get a little rowdy. All right, the time is 6:33 p.m. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. We're covering yet another severe weather day in the state of Texas in the never-ending, very busy spring season of 2024. We've got a possible tornado now. This is going to be located about 3 miles northeast of Reagan and Falls County, moving towards Bremen and Koss, Highway 14. We've got a possible tornado 15 miles southwest of Eden. That's moving southeast. That'll be crossing Highway 83 on the Menard-Concho County lines, generally moving southeast towards Menard, but it'll hopefully stay north of town. We've got a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado and large damaging hail just northeast of the city of Anston, moving towards Funston, on the east-west highway that goes out of Anson towards Looters, and eventually that storm will make it into western Shackelfield County, and eventually passing southwest of Albany. So again, we've got a storm also near Athens, moving towards the city of Tyler. That is showing some indications of hail. And we've got some showers that have popped up in the DFW Metroplex. Those are just not doing anything right now, but we're going to keep an eye on it just in case they try to do something obnoxious and annoying. So yeah, busy afternoon, busy evening. And for what it's worth, let me quickly verbally describe what we expect to go on tonight. I'm going to zoom back into this Falls County storm because it really is the most dangerous we're dealing with. I'm going to have to reset this program. I just made it mad. That's okay. Technology and I are like wigs. We don't get along. All right. That's what I could do for my birthday. I could go find wigs and put wigs on. That'd be an interesting little membership event. All right, so it's 6:35 p.m. Quickly, I'm going to talk about what we're expecting tonight in terms of storms. If I'm right, we should be quieting down by late this evening. Yeah, we should be quieting down by late this evening. It does not look like we're going to have another round of overnight hailers. So, hopefully we're done by 10, 11 p.m. and then we're going to stay quiet until sometime late tomorrow afternoon when we may do this again. Deal with that right now because that is tomorrow's problem. All right, we've got a probable tornado in progress. This is going to be northeast of Reagan, moving kind of paralleling FM 413, about to cross FM 413 near County Road 229. The which way the wind's blowing mode, yeah, now we're starting to see some of those really bright colors again, and that's not good. That indicates stronger pockets of wind. So again, if you are northeast of Reagan, southeast of Marlin, east to Highway 14 between Bremen and Coss, you need to be in a safe place. That's going to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, there is probably a tornado here. We're looking at the strongest rotation we've seen all day. And this storm's probably dropped half a dozen tornadoes at this point, all the way back to Temple. Yeah, Temple had another spin-up tornado earlier. I shouldn't say another. They had another tornado. All right, we've got video of tornadoes. So yeah, we've got a confirmed tornado now in progress just northeast of Reagan. This is moving towards Coss. So again, what could be a strong tornado in progress now. Strong tornado, I mean EF2 plus. In Falls County.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Falls, Limestone, and Robertson County in Texas.
And that's going to be the new tornado warning. And again, I need to reiterate, this could be a strong tornado. This might be a strong longer track tornado. Earlier I was saying we were dealing with the brief spin-ups. We've escalated now to potentially more high-end issues in the tornado department. Those of you in Thornton, Coss, Bremen, all the way east on Highway 7 to near Marquez, Easterly, Ridge. Safe place. Now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Strong tornado in progress now. We've got a confirmed tornado, and this has the ability to be an EF2 plus strong, given the velocity signature here. That is moving east. This is going to cross Highway 14 between Bremen and Coss. Both communities, you better have your butt in shelter, all right? We don't need anybody going out trying to get hurt looking at this. This thing has the potential to do significant damage if it hits you, so please be in a safe place. Tornado would likely be now crossing FM 413 near County Road 257. County Road 257, FM 413. That's where this strong tornado likely is right now doing damage. So again, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Storms moving east at 25 miles an hour. Strong tornado in progress. This tornado will cross Highway 14 in the next 15 minutes, probably a few miles south of Coss. So please be in a safe place. We could have baseball-sized hail on Highway 7 between Marlin and Coss right now. This thunderstorm's moving east at 25 to 30 miles an hour. The potential for golf ball to baseball size hail, damaging winds. We have a tornado down now. It's confirmed. This tornado is moving east, 30 miles an hour. Could be a strong tornado. By strong, EF2 plus. That's the kind of tornado that can destroy your home. No trailers, no vehicles, no mobile homes. Get out of the way of this thing. You're better off trying to get out of the way than trying to ride it out in a trailer or mobile home. Tornado likely on FM 413 right now, 413 in proximity of County Road 257. Tornado would then cross over the Little Brazos River stream internment. So again, tornado in progress near FM 413, County Road 257. That's going to be northeast of Reagan by not far. It's going to be northeast of Reagan and Highway 6 by maybe 2 to 3 miles. The which way the wind's blowing mode. And again, you can see the velocity couplet's still there. It may have weakened a wee bit, or at least what we call broadened out. But again, that's where we're looking right there. The how hard it's, or the which way the wind's blowing mode. Reflectivity, you can see this thing's wound up like a hotcake. I don't know why I think a hotcake would be rounded up, but yeah, you can wrap a hotcake up like a burrito and eat it. But okay, I'm digressing. So again, this is what the wind's doing in the storm. That's your rear flank downdraft there. You've got warm, unstable winds coming in from the southeast at the surface, combining into the mesocyclone of the storm. There you go, yippity-doo, yippity-day. Spin up tornado time. And that's where we get the tornado. Kind of. That actually, it's really not, but we're not going to go into a meteorological discussion of how tornadoes are made right now. I've already given my Discord family enough clips to make out of this. But again, clear-cut message, FM 413 between Reagan and Cost. You need to be in a safe place now. Highway 14, you're next. Those of you near Braymond up to Cost, you're going to be under the gun next. Hail Core on Highway 7 moving from Thornton to Cost in the next 15 minutes. Could have up to baseball-sized hail. Storms moving east, 30 miles an hour after it crosses Highway 14. This could eventually be an issue for northwestern portions of Robertson County, western Leon County, southern Limestone County. We've got a possible tornado, at least a weak one on signature, about 4 miles east of Anson on Highway 180 between Funston and Anston. I'll show you that real quick. That hook's wrapping. Notice how that latest scan came in and that hook's doing the wrap thing? That's not good. So again, this is what it looks like here. Good news is we don't have a debris signature at this point between Cost and Reagan. We've got a tornado, but, we don't see debris being lofted several thousand feet, so maybe that means things aren't getting hit. If we had a tornado here, it'd probably be on 180, I'll be honest. That doesn't look overly impressive in the velocity department. So, Anson to Looters, severe storm. This could also have tennis ball size hail. Further south, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado northwest of Menard by probably 20 miles or so, approaching Highway 83 just south of the Concho, Menard County line. Circulation would be in Menard County now. Concho County, you're clear from the tornado threat. You've still got hail, southern portions of the county. This storm could be passing near Menard in the next 15 to 20 minutes. At least. It may be closer to 30. That storm's moving southeast at about 20 miles an hour, so it's not cooking and booking in terms of speed along. This storm near Cost is wound up, tiring the ticks behind. You need to be in a safe place. It's going to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And Mr. Jason, let me know if you need anything. I've been retweeting a few pictures. So again, if you're in Cost to Braymond, you need to be in a safe place. Northeast of Reagan, you need to be in a safe place. I don't want you going outside looking for this. You need to be in a safe place. It's the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes if you got them handy. If not, okay, it's fine. Excuse me. It's what happens when you eat dinner right before doing tornado coverage. And Jason, I just approved a video of the Bruceville Eddy tornado in the fan group. Okay, so again, we've got a tornado in progress now. This is going to be southwest of Cost, moving east. 7 miles north of Bremen, 12 miles east of Marlin, moving east at 25.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Greer, Harmon, and Jackson County in Oklahoma. Wilbarger County in Texas.
What? What's going on up here? What are y'all fools doing? Y'all stop that. Oh, it turned right. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, so that includes like 2 miles of northern Wilbarger County, well northwest of Vernon. One of these storms up in north or southwest Oklahoma is turning right, so it may ride the river. Okay, not our problem right now. If you're in Coss, you need to be in a safe place. Marlin, you're clear. Reagan, you're clear if you're on Highway 6. Coss, get your butt in a shelter. Your mama need to whoop your butt if you're not in shelter already. Ooh-wee Bob. This thing's got attitude. This thing is tighter than a tick's behind, so this thing is down. We got reports recently of a tornado down. Law enforcement reporting a tornado now.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Cherokee and Smith County in Texas.
So again, which way the wind's blowing mode? We got winds moving. Stand by. We got reports of tennis ball size hail on Highway 7, just west of Coss. So Coss, you're about to get at least tennis ball to baseball size hail. We got winds moving towards the radar at about 85 miles an hour. We've got winds moving away from the radar at about 40 miles an hour, so about 125 to 130 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear. Notice how we've got bright blue against bright red. That's your velocity couplet. That's what we call a couplet. And that's your tornado. Back over to the how hard it's raining mode. You can see this thing's well organized. It doesn't take a weather weenie to know what a hook echo looks like. If you watch enough of this coverage over the years, you know this thing's organized. So again, we've got a tornado now not far southwest of Coss, moving east at about 25 miles an hour. This is going to be real close to Coss and Highway 14 shortly. Need to be in a safe place. Lowest floors, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This storm's going to be riding Highway 7 right towards Marquez, whatever you want it to be. Regardless, it's going to be a problem. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning now for portions of Smith County. A severe storm with quarter-size hail near noonday to Shady Brook, moving towards Mount Selman, Bullard, Flint, White House, Troop, Concord, New Chapel Hill. That storm, again, has hail. We're talking about the most life-threatening storms here, which is this one near Coss, which could have a pretty strong tornado with it right now. If you want to know what's going on about a storm in your area, remember, you can always check with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers in your device's app store. Interactive weather radars, live severe weather coverage, your local weather forecast, and more. We've got a tornado warning still across parts of Menard County. This storm approaching Highway 83, not looking as intense in the rotation department. That is good. It could still have large damaging hail. We'll see if they elect to extend that tornado warning or not, but that rotation does not look super duper strong right now. Storm northeast of Anson has no longer tornado warning. That's good. It still has the potential of producing large hail near Luders, moving southeast towards Albany and eventually Moran northeast of Abilene. This will not be an issue for the city of Abilene, thankfully. All right, let's see what else is going on in the magical land of life. Let's go back to our tornado warning now. And again, this is a tornado warning. This is Eastern Falls County, moving into portions of Limestone, Leon, and Robertson counties. This is riding Highway 7 east towards Marquez. A tornado has been confirmed and is located just west of Highway 14 by about 2 miles. Probably not all that far southwest of Coss. Let's just say about 4 miles right now, moving east at about 20 miles an hour. It's kind of sitting still for a minute. It kind of stalled. It's interesting. This thing really hasn't moved all that much in the last few minutes. So again, strong tornado approaching Coss and Highway 14. So please be in a safe place if you're north of Bremen, northeast of Reagan, and Koss. This eventually will move east of Highway 14 towards the city of Marquez, and Ridge. This won't be an issue for Farrar, Donnie, or Hewitt, the way it looks right now. Or Buffalo. This should stay southwest of that. We'll zoom out. I'll show you. This is what's downstream. Yeah, if this keeps up for another 2 hours, Centerville is going to be under the primordial, how about we just say metaphorical, gun. We'll take a statewide view. We'll see what's going on across the state. And again, yeah, we've got other storms going on. We've got hail. We got wind. We've got a possible tornado crossing 83 north of Menard by a good 15 miles. We got storms with hail. We got a storm approaching the south sides of Tyler now with hail. From near Noonday to Bullard to Mount Selman. That storm's over Moore Station to Frankston right now. There could be at least quarter-size hail with that. But again, a tornado is in progress now. Still, it's just sitting right now about 5 to 6 miles southwest of Koss, 5 miles northwest of Bremen, 4 to 5 miles northeast of Reagan. The storm itself is moving east at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. But the mesocyclone, I guess, spun up enough to where it's just kind of acting as an anchor on that storm right now and kind of just causing it to sit for a little while. Eventually, it's going to... like a rubber band, snap back and start flying east again, but for the moment, it's just sitting its happy self down. All right, we've got a tornado reported now southwest of Koss. So again, tornado continues not Far southwest of Koss. Kosse. We've got a storm near Frankston to Moore Station about to move into southern Smith County. Northern portions of Cherokee County. That could have some really big hail with it.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Concho, McCulloch, and Menard County in Texas.
Okay, let's press some buttons here. So again, a tornado now, I mean, it might be on Highway 14. That kind of is what it looks like. There's almost 2 circulations here. What is going on? Let me show y'all what I'm looking at. Sorry, when you're doing the whole situational awareness analysis thing here too, sometimes you just kind of get caught in tangents. I've got 10 monitors around me. This is excessive, and it's going to get worse when I put another 4 monitors on. All right, so again, what I'm looking at here is this thing kind of on Highway 14. We had a report of a tornado just moments ago. Velocity-wise, yeah, there's a couplet there, but we definitely still have rotation back southwest too, but tornado could definitely be near County Road 271, County Road 268, County Road 267, County Road 278, County Road 283, and Highway 14 south of Koss right now. But we may still have a circulation sitting several miles west of Highway 14.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been
over the
issued
river.
for Henderson and Henderson County in Texas.
So again, if you're in Cost, down to just north of Bremen on Highway 14, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes are a good idea. No travel on Highway 14, south of Highway 7, north of the Highway 14-6 split. And again, after this crosses Highway 14 to the east, this is going to be moving towards western portions of Leon County. Let's go ahead and pull up a map here. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. This is going to be moving towards the Twin Oak Reservoir. White Rock, Petaway. We just did this, what, a few weeks ago? Okay, well, that makes sense. Now we definitely have a very strong velocity couplet on Highway 14, crossing over County Road 283. This is going to be just south of Cost. This is a confirmed tornado now. Has been confirmed. We had a report of a multi-vortex tornado from an experienced storm chaser. And that storm's moving east to 25, so we likely have a tornado now in progress doing damage near Highway 14, County Road 283, south of Cost. This would be about, 4 miles south of Cost. This thing's going to be moving due east, it looks like. It might actually be a new circulation. I think it is. Jason, correct me if I'm wrong. This thing's a new circulation. In fact, yeah, you can see we have a whole new hook here. This thing did a recycling process with the old circulation back off to the west here, and now we have new tornado in progress here near County Road 283 and Highway 14. That's going to be moving due east at about 25 miles an hour. So again, those of you southeast of Cost, you need to be in a safe place now, all right? Those of you on County Road 704 here, I'm just going to pull up Google Maps and start talking. Let's do this. Meadow Creek Park, the Common Ground Cowboy Church on 14, you need to be in a safe place. The Lost Oaks RV Park, White Rock, over to the Twin Oak Reservoir. Cossee, thank you. Headsville, you need to be in a safe place. White Rock, Headsville, 477, 459, 702, 277, 276, 283. Tornado in progress, doing damage. This thing's tighter than ticks behind. You can see the velocity couplet's gone spaghettios. And this thing's got attitude, so please be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, this is a tornado with, now, for the first time today, a tornado debris signature. So the radar is detecting debris being lofted by the tornado several thousand feet. So a tornado is down, doing damage, lofting debris near County Road 283, County Road 278, Highway 14. Southeast of Cossay, moving east towards Highway 7, and eventually the city of Marquez. Before then, though, this is going to pass closer to the Lost Oaks RV Park, Headsville, White Rock, the Twin Oaks Reservoir, 979, 2096, the Bald Prairie Church of Christ, the Wesley Chapel Cemetery, before making it to Marquez, whatever you want it to be, and Ridge. Quickly, let's go look up here in East Texas. This thing's a nasty-looking hailer moving towards Bullard from Berryville, Moore Station. There could be tennis ball-size hail here moving towards Bullard, passing just northeast of Frankston. This will stay south of the city of Tyler, moving towards Troop. Could be in Henderson by 8 o'clock. Big hail. Metroplex, we got a few showers, a few storms. Not a lot to write home about. Wichita Falls, you got a little shower southwest of you, nothing to write home about. We note this supercell west of the city of Altus in southwest Oklahoma moving towards Elmer is starting to move more southeast. That may become an issue for portions of northern Wilbarger and eventually parts of Wichita County in a couple of hours if that keeps up. That's a southeastward moving storm. We have a severe thunderstorm east of Anson.
From Coss in Limestone County, Texas. Hail magnitude measured 1.75 inches. Reported by emergency manager. Additional information, golf ball size hail in Coss.
Storm near Looters could have golf ball size hail. That's looking weaker. Tornado warnings gone near Menard. That's good. We've got this storm approaching north sides of the city of Menard. There could be hail with that. This thing has a strong tornado down with it approaching, southeast of Coss. You can see this thing's going to be approaching, oops-a-daisies. Approaching Headsville, White Rock, Petaway, Twin Oaks Reservoir, especially the north sides. Be in a safe place now. 702-459-278-477, 2954, 448, 452, 979, 2096, 468. If I just named any county roads or roads you know that are out here, get your bun to shelter. This thing's got a couplet the size of Montana. Not really, but it's pissed, for the lack of a more meteorological in-depth term. So again, this is going to be a storm with a confirmed tornado doing damage. We got winds moving towards the radar at almost 90 miles an hour. We got winds moving away from the radar at, I'm going to guess, about 50. Come on. Be nice. Thank you. At about 50. So again, this thing has a 140 to 150 mile an hour gate-to-gate circulation. Very strong, impressive hook echo. We've got visual reports of a tornado in progress. So again, this could be a large tornado now, southeast of Coss or Coss, whatever you want it to be, moving east towards Headsville, White Rock, the Twin Oak Reservoir, the Bald Prairie Church of Christ. FM 979, 2096, 459, 477, 2954, White Rock. And eventually this is going to be a direct threat to the city of Marquez, whatever you want it to be, east of the city of Coss. So again, this is what could be a large and extremely dangerous tornado now in progress. 5 miles southeast of Coss, moving east at about 25 miles an hour, down Highway 7. And again, this is a large, extremely dangerous tornado moving east at 25 miles an hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. A large, extremely dangerous tornado doing damage. It's 5 miles southeast of Coss, moving east towards Marquez, moving east towards the Headsville area, White Rock, the Twin Oak Reservoir, Bald Prairie Church of Christ, Wesley Chapel Cemetery. If I named any communities or landmarks you know, you better get your butt in shelter or out of the way. That's about your options. Get in shelter or get out of the way. If you're in a mobile home or a trailer, get out of the way, like now. Or go to a site-built, sturdy structure where you can take shelter, lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes. Helmet. Still a very strong velocity signature. Seeing a bit of a tornado debris signature. It's not that classic, blue donut, but the velocity couplet is, it's there. It's nasty. Titan or ticks behind. We got winds moving towards the radar at about 80 miles an hour. We have winds moving away from the radar at about 60 miles an hour, 140, 150 mile an hour gate-to-gate shear. Large tornado is in progress. A large, strong, significant tornado moving east, 25 miles per hour. Those of you southeast of Coss, if you're in the city of Coss, you're clear. Coss, whatever, you're clear. Braymond, you're clear. If you're west of Highway 14, you're clear. If you're east of Highway 14, you better be in shelter. And again, this is moving east towards White Rock, Headsville, the Twin Oaks Reservoir, the Bald Prairie Church of Christ, the Wesley Chapel Cemetery, FM 2096, FM 979, 468, 477, 459, the Lost Oaks RV Park. You need to be in a safe place now. This is a strong tornado. This thing's got attitude. This thing could do a lot of damage. So we need you to be in a safe place. This is the only tornado warning we have in the state of Texas. Fortunately. Again, we got hail passing into southern Smith County. Yeah, we got hailers, but please keep in mind we need to focus on the most life-threatening storms, and that's this one with a large destructive tornado in progress now, approaching the Twin Oaks Reservoir, near the Lost Oaks RV Park, White Rock, up to Headsville. This is about 4 to 5 miles southeast of Caussay, moving east to 25, about 6 to 7 miles northeast of Bremen. This is now only about 4 miles west of the Twin Oaks Reservoir. The Twin Oaks Reservoir you can kind of see on satellite. I mean, I'll zoom in even more. You can see that's the reservoir right there. This is your tornado. It doesn't get any more clear than that. This thing's got attitude, this thing's got spunk, and this thing has one heck of a problem. So again, confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado about 5 miles southeast of Caussay, moving east towards the Twin Oak Reservoir, moving east towards White Rock, moving east towards Headsville. Looks like our chasers up in western Oklahoma have a tornado on their storm near El Dorado. That storm is this one up here, by the way, southwest of Altus. I only mention it because, one, we have video. Two, this storm could end up being an issue for portions of far northern Wilbarger County in about an hour in northwest Texas. So, again, that's a tornado that's down right now. We'll just leave that up there, I guess. We've got this nasty hailer moving east into southern Smith County. And this thing could have nasty hail approaching Bullard, southwest portions of White House, southeast Noonday. This will stay south of the city of Tyler, moving east from Coffee City. Again, large tornado in progress. How about I switch to the radar that's actually showing the best picture here? It's even stronger now. My goodness. We got winds moving towards the radar at 80. We got winds moving away from the radar at 80. We're now 160 mile per hour gate-to-gate circulation. Large and destructive tornado is in progress. 6 miles southeast of Caussay, moving east at 25 miles an hour. This is a situation where we have a big tornado approaching 459 White Rock up to Headsville. Maybe near the Lost Oaks RV Park. I'm just looking at Google's map here. The Ebenezer Cemetery. South of Highway 7, east of Highway 14, County Road 702, 459, White Rock. Eventually approaching the Twin Oaks Reservoir. A large destructive tornado is in progress, doing damage. This storm is moving east at 20 miles an hour. I'll show the circulation over the last several minutes. Sorry, I pressed a button. It'll be back in a minute. So again, this is the velocity couple over the last half hour. You can see how the circulation west of Highway 14 weakened, occluded, new one fired up and dropped a tornado right on 14 near County Road 278. And now this thing is moving east slowly, but a large, dangerous tornado is in progress. Again, those bright colors, the very bright blues against the very bright reds, that is 140 to 160 mile an hour gate-to-gate shear. We've had a report of a large tornado in progress. We've seen pictures. This, again, moving east towards White Rock, Headsville, the Twin Oak Reservoir, especially the northern sections of the Twin Oak Reservoir. Could be approaching the Lost Oaks RV Park. Eventually after that, it's going to, after crossing over 477, this is going to be crossing over 979, 2096, near the Bald Prairie Church of Christ, the Wesley Chapel Cemetery. This storm eventually may approach the city of Marquez or Marquez at highways 79 and 7 within an hour. So again, this is a confirmed tornado now, southeast of Coss by about 7 miles, or Cossie. Moving southeast at 20 miles an hour. So again, if you're in far southeastern portions of Limestone County, western portions of Leon County, northern portions of Robertson County, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes are a good idea, along with a helmet. Now approaching the northwestern portions of the Twin Oak Reservoir. Still strong indications of rotation. Might actually have a second tornado now developing almost over the northwestern portions of the Twin Oak Reservoir. I think we are, in fact. Let me show you what's going on. We have the occlusion process starting and a new tornado starting up. This will be your new tornado over the northwest sides of the Twin Oak Reservoir. This is the ongoing large tornado we've had. It's going to start to weaken, turn north, and then this is going to be your new tornado that'll probably be down within minutes, moving east over the northern sections of the Twin Oak Reservoir. And then after that, it's going to be an issue for areas around 2096, 979 in western portions of Leon County, the Bald Prairie Church of Christ, and then eventually this is going to approach Highway 79 north of Ridge near Marquez or Marquez. Okay, we're going to have a new tornado warning in a minute. Stand by for that. It'll make a bunch of loud noises momentarily. We'll zoom out and show you that new warning polygon.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Leon, Limestone, and Robertson County in Texas.
All right, at 7, let's just go over this. Tornado warning for northeastern Robertson, western Leon, southeastern Limestone counties in north central Texas until 8 p.m. At 7:14 p.m., a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near the Twin Oak Reservoir, 19 miles east of Marlin, moving east now at 15 miles an hour. So this storm is slowed down. Again, tornado. Well, two tornadoes, really. We got dissipating tornado 1 there. We got new tornado 2 developing over the north sides of the Twin Oak Reservoir. That is going to be moving east at about 15 miles an hour. This tornado warning will include places like Olathe, Seal, Bald Prairie, Ridge, Easterly, Marquez, or Marquez. And again, a large and extremely dangerous tornado is developing. Again, so those of you in Easterly, Ridge, Marquez, whatever, on Highway... Come on, tell me the highway. 79, you're going to need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Yeah, we got 2 tornadoes here. So let me show you. We're going to switch back to the velocity mode. There you go. We've got 2 tornadoes. That's what the bright couplets mean. We have twins down right now. Tornado number 1, back here just southeast of Causse. It may be turning northwest in the occlusion process. Tornado number 2, now over the northwestern portions of the Twin Oak Reservoir. That's going to move east at 15. This at some point, dissipating tornado may turn north. So we're going to have to watch for that carefully just east of Causse. Again, 2 tornadoes now in progress. Tornado 1 that's been ongoing now is about... It actually did turn north. It's turned northwest. So it should dissipate shortly, but it's moving northwest right now, and it's only 3 miles southeast of Causse. We've got a tornado now underway. This is going to be about 13 miles west of Marquez, about 11 miles northwest of Ridge, 8 miles southeast of Causse. So again, 2 tornadoes right now. 1, 3 to 4 miles southeast of Causse. 2, 8 miles southeast of Causse over the north sides of the Twin Oaks Reservoir. Storm itself is moving east at 15, but obviously these tornadoes have some deviant motion at times. But again, cyclic tornado genesis continues with 1 tornado dissipating, moving north, new tornado developing, moving east, and this has happened several times now. We're probably up to 10 tornadoes from this storm over the last several hours, ever since it was back near Temple. And there's no reason why this is going to stop anytime soon. So those of you in places like Leona, Centerville, heads up. This thing may still be problematic by the time it gets to I-45. So again, those of you from the Twin Oaks Reservoir and Highway 7, east of Causse, all the way down to Ridge, Easterly, and Marquez need to be in a safe place. Still 2 tornadoes. 1 just southeast of Causse. That actually has a tornado debris signature on it right now. That's a confirmed tornado doing damage. Again, it's moving northwest still, or west. For now, new tornado over the Twin Oak Reservoir, moving east. Again, you can see the scans. They're really just not moving that much, but this thing's moving like this right now. And again, it's just... Oh, it's a headache. And then for what it's worth, for our friends in southwestern Oklahoma, we're going to take a quick look at this. A violent tornado's down just north of the Red River, northeast of El Dorado, west of Olste, south of Duke. This thing, massive tornado debris signature moving towards Elmer, Oklahoma, very near the Red River. If this storm turns right at all, it could become an issue for far northern Wilbarger County. We'll see if we have any views on it. Negative. Most of our chasers are up there at this point. But again, we're going to keep focusing on our issues here in the state of Texas. Eventually, I guess once my radar is done crashing. All right. So again, this is the only tornado warning we have moving into western Leon County. We got a storm over Bullard, just south of White House, west of Troop, moving east at about 40 miles an hour. That storm could have ping pong ball size hail. That hail core has weakened considerably since earlier. That's good. If it survives, it'll be in the city of Henderson by 8 o'clock. The storm out northwest or north of Abilene is dissipating. The storm in Menard County still showing indications of hail passing northeast of Menard. That eventually may approach Mason by 8:30 if it survives. And then we've got a dangerous storm producing tornadoes now near the Twin Oak Reservoir. That thing is doing that rappy hook again. Tornado still might have some indications of a dissipating tornado about 3 miles southeast of Causse. But definitely new large tornado in progress over the north sides of the Twin Oak Reservoir. That's going to be moving east towards the Bald Prairie Church of Christ, or BALD. 979, 460, 2096. You need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes, no trailers, no mobile homes, no campers or vehicles. Again, that's going to be moving east at about 15 miles an hour. I'll try to put a timeline on this. The way it's looking right now, I can at least give y'all a rough timeline. And again, this would be for the tornadic circulation. Moving east right now at about 15, this would be entering the city of Marquez or Marquez by 8:15. But understand, if a new tornado forms further east or this speeds up, it's going to get to town before 8:10 to 8:15. Regardless, y'all are in a tornado warning right now and need to be in a safe place. Everyone around the Twin Oak Reservoir, especially on the north side. Anyone near Bald, the Bald Prairie Church of Christ, 2096. 979, south of Highway 7, well, along and south of Highway 7 especially, south of Willow Creek, southeast of Headsville, northeast of Petaway, northwest of Easterly, northwest of Ridge, and southwest of Marquez. You need to be in a safe place. That's lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And that tornado is moving east at 15 miles an hour over the north sides or just north of the Twin Oak Reservoir. We'll put some tools on here. Oil Well Road, County Road 460, 8. County Road 471.
Texas local storm report from Bullard in Smith County, Texas. Thunderstorm wind damage. Reported by amateur radio. Additional information, Bullard Fire Department reporting trees and power lines down.
Camp Cooley Road, Coal Branch Road, County Road 468, County Road 460, Oil Well Road, the Bald Prairie Church of Christ, the intersection of 2095, 979, Kennedy Lane, 460. You need to be in a safe place now. This is moving east at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Tornado continues. Could be a large and extremely dangerous tornado.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Cherokee, Rusk, and Smith County in Texas.
We'll go ahead and zoom out, see if anything else is going on. You can see those of you in Marquez, this is coming right for you. It could be there by 8 to 8:10. We have a severe thunderstorm passing White House to Troop, moving east towards Troop, ARP, New London, Henderson. There could be quarter-size hail, winds of 60 miles an hour. That storm has a history of producing wind damage. We have a severe thunderstorm northeast of Menard, moving southeast towards Mason. This storm could have quarter to golf ball size hail, winds over 60 miles an hour. Would be approaching Mason by 8:15 to 8:30. The storm northeast of Abilene, rapidly weakening and dying. We have a storm producing a large, violent tornado. This is near Olstee, Oklahoma, south of Duke, Highway 34, Highway 5, northwest of Elmer, southwest of Altus. Not far north of the Red River at all. For now, this is staying north of the Red River, but understand, large, violent tornado underway probably less than 15 miles north of the Texas-Oklahoma state line. And we're probably going to have a tornado warning at some point soon on the Red River for far northern Wilbarger County. This is not going to impact Vernon. It's not going to impact, Electra, anything like that, but it is going to be close. Okay, back to the tornado warning here in Texas. Tornado now northeast sections of the Twin Oak Reservoir approaching Bald. Camp Cooley Road, Coal Branch Road, 472, 473, Kennedy Lane, 468, debris ball. Okay, we just hit something. That's a debris ball right there. That is debris being lofted by a tornado right near County Road 468, the northeast sides of the Twin Oak Reservoir. Debris. A lot of debris. There's your blue debris ball donut. We have a traditional reflectivity debris ball. That's not rain, folks. That is debris being lofted by a tornado. There's your velocity couplet right there. That's never anything you want to see. We have winds moving away from the radar at about 60. Winds moving towards at 70, 130, 140 mile an hour gate-to-gate shear. A debris ball. Large destructive tornado doing major damage now. Northeast sides of the Twin Oak Reservoir, approaching Bald, County Road 979, 2096, the Bald Prairie Church of Christ, Oil Well Road, Kennedy Lane, Camp Cooley Road, west of Marquez. This is a tornado doing damage with debris being lofted thousands of feet into the air. Debris has now been lofted at least 8,000 feet. Folks, this is a strong tornado. It takes a strong tornado to loft debris 8,000 feet into the air. So again, northeast sections of the Twin Oak Reservoir, to Marquez, including the community of Bald, Camp Cooley Road, County Road 468, County Road 473, County Road 472. A large, destructive tornado doing damage has lofted debris 8,000 feet into the air. So, folks, this is a bad thing. This is approaching Bald. You need to be in a safe place now. You should have been in a safe place 30 minutes ago, but you better be in a place now. Again, this is a mean, bad, very mad tornado doing damage, and a lot of it based on the fact we've got debris being lofted 8,000 feet into the air. So again, those of you from Bald to the city of Marquez, you need to be in a safe place. This is starting to turn a little more to the east versus southeast. Originally, this was moving southeast to east. It's taken a little turn north. So those of you on Highway 7, from Bald, the Twin Oak Reservoir, to the city of Marquez, Willow Creek, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes, helmets. Do not go outside looking for this thing if you are in the warned area. You need to take shelter. Again, we've got debris that has been lofted 8,000 feet. We'll get a velocity update here in just a second. We'll switch back over. There's the latest scan. Tornado right on County Road 468 now. Oil Well Road. County Road 460. Wynn Road. Back to the velocity. You can see it there. Bright red against the bright green. Maybe a little weaker. 45 miles an hour away, 60 towards. So we're down from about 140, 150 to about 100. Tornado still in progress, but it might be a little weaker. Coming up on Kennedy Lane. Wynn Road, 460. 468. Oil Well Road. Just north of Coal Branch Road, north of Camp Cooley Road, County Roads 472, County Roads 473. This confirmed dangerous tornado is now 9 miles west of the city of Marquez, moving east at about 15 miles an hour. Okay, so this is 9 miles west of Marquez. Be in a safe place. Oklahoma. Large, violent tornado 9 miles southwest of the city of Altus. Could be a half-mile to 1 mile wide tornado. We're going to go look at this. I realize it's just north of the Red River, but it's my stream, so deal with it. Large, violent tornado could be a half-mile to a mile wide. Could be approaching the city of Altus in the next 30 minutes. This thing's a big, bad, very mad tornado. This thing could be a half-mile to a mile wide, doing major damage.
6 miles south-southwest of Noonday in Smith County.
Okay? So, Altus. You know anyone around Altus, the Air Force Base in Altus? Let them know they have a large tornado down. Could be near the city in the next 30 minutes.
Social media report of trees and large limbs down in Emerald Bay area.
Okay, tornado down. The good news is this velocity couplet here is starting to weaken, meaning we probably still have a tornado, but the tornado likely is now on the decline intensity-wise. Tornado do damage, but tornado itself starting to weaken means hopefully it's going to be gone soon. That being said, County Road 468, northeast of the Twin Oak Reservoir, approaching Bald. You need to be in a safe place, lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, this is moving towards Marquez. Highway 7, we don't want anyone on Highway 7 right now between Case and Marquez or Marquez. And Jason, if you have a pronunciation for that, feel free to chime in. And that storm near Altus, Oklahoma, if that turns right, understand, those of you in northern Wilbarger County and Wichita County, Vernon to Wichita Falls, north, Burke Burnett, you better watch that storm near Altus. That thing could be producing mile-wide tornadoes for the next 4 hours, and it's slowly moving southeast. So we may have to deal with that eventually. But for now, it's not our problem. But understand, conditions up there extremely favorable for tornadoes. So if we have to deal with that storm, we're going to have problems from around Wichita Falls to Burke Burnett. It may not be for a few hours, but be mindful. Tornado still coming up on FM. Come on, give me a name. Jerk. All right, we'll do this. There's the update. We'll switch back over to velocity. Give it just a second. Again, this is the only tornadic storm in the state of Texas we're dealing with right now. There's the latest velocity. Tornado's still there. Couplet's still there, but it's weaker. Marquez. Thank you, Jason. So again, Marquez, west to Kasi, whatever, down to the Twin Oak Reservoir, be in shelter. Nobody on Highway 7. Understand, this thing could put another tornado down at some point, and it might try to do it near 7. This continues to move east. I think the tornado is in its weakening phase right now. So those of you who are Marquez, you need to be in a safe place. And again, the velocity couplet's weakening. That's good. I think the tornado is in its dissipation stage. It is now northeast of the Twin Oak Reservoir, moving east at 15 to 20 miles an hour. Now, the question here is, are we going to see a new circulation, a new tornado develop? If we do, and this thing's done this like 5 or 6 times, it's going to be closer to Marquez. But for now, the velocity couplet's coming down. That's good. Tornado could still be here, but it definitely looks less intense than it did. Notice, we have a well-structured, well-organized supercell here. And we could easily have another circulation develop that produces a tornado. Or we see a reinvigoration of this couplet. But those of you who are Marquez, need to be in a safe place. Everyone west of Marquez on Highway 7 to the Twin Oak Reservoir, down Highway 79 to Ridge. You need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible.
Texas local storm report from White House in Smith County, Texas. Hail magnitude estimated 0.70 inches. Reported by public. Additional information, social report of dime-size hail near Kane Elementary. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Mason and Menard County in Texas.
Okay, so this tornado, if it's still down, and let me explain my language here. 10 minutes ago, big, bad, very mad tornado. I think that tornado has either weakened or completely dissipated. Still strong rotation here, much weaker than it was, but that doesn't mean we couldn't see another circulation develop. Let me load the last half hour of data here, and I'll show you well, I'll just do the last hour, really, and we'll do this. Again, this thing's been producing tornadoes since Temple. Yeah, Temple had a weak tornado this afternoon, less than 18 hours after a strong tornado. We mentioned in our video forecast this morning what would happen if we had storms fire on outflow boundaries in central Texas this afternoon, and they did. And the end result has been a tornadic supercell most of the last few hours. The tornadoes have gradually gotten stronger, stronger, and stronger after each cycle, which is typical. All right, hold on. I'm going to have to change some settings here to actually do this, apparently. This may blow this thing sky high. We'll see. Loading each of these radar frames actually loads like 50 meg of data typically, and this is a 32-bit program, which for those of you who know what that means is when this thing ends up going over a certain amount of memory, the program's going to freeze and crash, which it's about to, but at least it let me load this data. So again, this is what the velocity has looked like over the last hour. You can see we've had cycles. One tornado west of Highway 14, southeast of Marlin, new tornado southeast of Case, which turned hard northwest and actually went into town, it looks like, almost. Hopefully it dissipated before it got to town, but you can see that circulation went hard northwest, and then this thing is starting to weaken. It hasn't taken a hard north turn, but again, the circulation is weakening. The tornado itself may still be there, but the circulation has weakened. It didn't do this typical occlusion we've seen this afternoon, where it would do a hard northwest turn. So we'll see. Until this circulation is completely gone, there could still be a tornado here. And there have been some instances where these circulations don't actually occlude, they just weaken for a bit and re-intensify. I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen here, or if we're going to see a new circulation, or maybe we're done. I don't think we're done yet. Until this storm is gone, we're not done. But, again, those of you in Marquez need to be in a safe place. Those of you on Highway 7 west of Marquez need to be in a safe place. If you are in Case, you're clear. If you are at the Twin Oak Reservoir, you're clear. If you are northeast of the Twin Oak Reservoir, you need to be in a safe place still up into Marquez. If you are in White Rock and Petaway, you're clear. If you're in Headsville, you're clear. If you are west of 979, you're clear. If you are from 979 and 2096 east to Highway 79, you need to be in a safe place now. That includes Ridge, Marquez, up to Highway 7. Y'all need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. But again, the circulation has weakened for now. We still have rotation. Notice how we went from, bright green, bright red to kind of calm down a little bit, but we still have strong rotation. Let me load the how hard it's raining mode. And I'll just show you what this has done over the last hour. And again, those of you in Marquez, this is moving right towards you. I'm going to turn off the smoothing here. But you can see, it looks like the storm is undergone reorganization. We'll see. It may try to trend back up, but we're also seeing some indications the storm itself is weakening. The hail core aloft is coming down. We're seeing the storm top starting to come down. I mean, it's still strong as all get out, but if we're lucky, that means the storm itself is starting to weaken. That being said, we still have a well-defined hook echo here, and that hook echo is now 6 miles west of Marquez, meaning those of you in the city of Marquez are going to have problems with this in the next 20 to 30 minutes. Coming east on Highway 7. If we have a tornado down right now, it would probably be on Highway 7, approaching the Steel Creek. Probably about 2 miles west of the Navasota River on Highway 7. And this storm's moving east about 20-25 miles an hour. So again, those of you in Marquez need to be in a safe place. Round Prairie, same story. If you're at the Twin Oak Reservoir, you're clear. Circulation is starting to intensify again near the Navasota River or a mile west of the Navasota River at Highway 7. For those of you in southwestern Oklahoma, large tornado crossing over Highway 62, about 7 miles west of the city of Altus. So again, we're going to have a new tornado warning with this in a second, so the computer's about to make angry squealing sounds.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Leon and Robertson County in Texas.
All right, let's talk about who's in and who's out of this tornado warning. If you're not in the warning, you don't need to do anything about it. If you're in the warning, you do. Tornado warning does run now until 8:30 p.m. for northeastern Robertson, southwestern Leon counties here in central Texas. This tornado warning does include Marquez, Hewitt, Flynn. It does not include the city of Centerville and Leona at this time, but it is moving y'all's way. But for now, it does not include y'all. So if you're in Marquez, up 79 to Hewitt, east on 7 to the west sides of Centerville, down to Flynn. If you are in Flynn, you're in this tornado warning. At 7:50 p.m., A thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 7 miles northeast of the Twin Oak Reservoir, 21 miles southeast of Groesbeck, 5 to 6 miles west of Marquez, moving east at 15 miles an hour. This tornado warning includes Hewitt, Marquez, Seal, Corinth, Robbins, Flynn, Bald Prairie. This also does technically include Interstate 45, barely for now. All right, let's get back to it. Starting to see a bit of an uptick again. You can see how we've got that hook echo swinging back around. This is going to be your unstable air mass. And real quick, I know we've got other storms in the state. They could have hail. They could have strong winds. There are no other tornado warnings in Texas right now. We've got a large tornado that just crossed west of Altus, Oklahoma. That storm for now staying north of the Red River. If it turns southeast, we may have to deal with it in portions of northern Wilbarger and northern Wichita counties in a couple hours. We'll deal with it then. But for now, other storms in the state, hail, wind. If you want to keep an eye on the storms anywhere in the country or get your local weather forecast, you can do that in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. Your local weather forecast, interactive weather radars, radar tab, or click more, Zoom radar, and then of course you can get your local weather forecast, watch us live. This possible tornado now on Highway 7, got a report of a funnel cloud with it. It's going to be about 6 miles west of Marquez, moving east at 15 miles an hour. The storm itself honestly may have turned a little northeast now. As part of its weakening trend, it may have been slightly reestablished in the upper level flow, which would push it more northeast like most of the other storms today. So if that's the case, this circulation may, instead of moving due east, may start moving like this. We're going to have to watch it, which is why the Weather Service in Fort Worth has included Hewitt in a tornado warning along with Marquez west of Centerville. So again, this is a tornado warning for portions of Leon and Robertson County until 8:30 p.m. A possible tornado 6 miles west of Marquez, about 8 miles northeast of the Twin Oaks Reservoir, 21 miles southeast of Groesbeck, moving east at 15 miles an hour. This storm could also produce golf ball size hail. At this point, the good news is, yeah, we have rotation here, but it's certainly much less rambunctious than what we saw a bit earlier. But this still could produce a tornado again at any time. The storm in in Rusk County from New London to Henderson is dissipating. It brought quite a bit of hail and damaging winds to portions of southern Smith County, though. We got power lines and trees down around Bullard, back down towards Noonday. And we've got a severe storm approaching Streeter on Highway 377 west of Mason. That storm could have quarter-size hail winds of 60. And then we've got a storm with a tornado about 7 miles west of the city of Altus on Highway 62. It looks like that storm is cycling now. That big, bad, very mad tornado is dissipating, but a new tornado could develop closer to the city of Altus in southwest Oklahoma soon. For what it's worth, that storm has trended north for now, leaving northwest Texas in the clear for now. Unfortunately for this storm down in central Texas, notice that velocity couplet just jumped up in intensity on this last scan. So now we're starting to see stronger velocities again. We could have another tornado developing or down. Tornado would be right here near Highway 7, about 7 miles west of Marquez. And again, if this is moving more northeast for now, this would place Hewitt under the threat. We're going to have to see. Is this going to move like this? Is this going to move like this? Yeah, I know. My handwriting stinks. That's why I type and talk. We'll see. But again, This thing's got attitude. And could have another tornado down. This would be on... Oh, here, let's just use Google Maps. Sorry. This would be on FM 937 right now, probably 2 miles north of Highway 7, so near the Seal Round Prairie Cemetery, Dogwood Creek Road, County Road 483. Kind of moving towards the south side of Lake Limestone almost, it looks like. Again, this thing could be moving more northeast now than east like it was earlier. So again, that's the how hard or which way the wind's blowing mode. You can see we've got brighter colors again. Well-defined hook echo. No tornado debris signature right now, but that velocity couplet certainly did just jump back up. So we could see another tornado developing west-northwest of Marquez. Oh, there's a tornado developing the southwest sides of Altus, Oklahoma right now. Depending on how bad that gets, we may have to go look at that in a minute. I realize Oklahoma's not our coverage area, but, you know, Altus isn't that far up Highway 283 from Texas, so we might go look at that in a minute. But again, tornado possibly now underway about 6 miles northwest of Marquez on FM 937, or County Road 937. Near 483 or the Dogwood Creek Road area. Tornado is underway, it looks like. We're getting some pictures of that. West of Marquez. So again, this storm does continue to produce tornadoes. Northwest of Marquez, we're seeing a pretty big lightning jump now. Y'all in Marquez are probably getting lightning out the wazoo now. But again, this is parts of southwestern Leon and northeastern Robertson counties in central Texas. Severe storm with a history of producing tornadoes now 6 miles northwest of Marquez. Moving east, maybe east-northeast at about 15 miles an hour. The thunderstorms hail core is collapsing. So the storm itself may be weakening, but it's still producing at least intermittent tornadoes. Back to the which way the wind's blowing mode. Again, you can see that. We've got winds. Oops, wrong button. Winds moving away from the radar at about 35. Winds moving towards it about 50. So about 80 miles an hour. Definitely not the 150 mile an hour couplet we had earlier, but still strong enough for tornado genesis at times. And again, hopefully the storm will continue to actually weaken, and if it does, well, hopefully that means we're almost done with all this. But even in its weakening phase, this storm is continuing to produce tornadic behavior. And again, we have nothing else really going on outside this area right now. We've got a weakening thunderstorm near New London, south of Kilgore, northeast of Selman City. That storm is weakening quickly, may have some small hail. We've got a storm near Streeter, Highway 377 west of Mason, moving southeast toward Hedwig's Hill, Loyal Valley, staying southwest of Mason. That storm could have quarter to ping pong ball size hail, damaging winds. But back to the which way the wind's blowing mode. I'll turn the this on so at least updates a little more quickly. Again, the velocity couplet there has weakened this last scan. And just to, show what it's looked like over the last hour, I'll switch back over to the which way the wind's blowing mode. going to load this data, hopefully not blow this thing to kingdom come. You can see, this is the which way the wind's blowing mode. You can see a lot of circulations today have, gone northwest. This one near Cosse, I mean, that thing almost went into town going northwest. You can see the circulation we're dealing with now, honestly, I think just occluded, which is why that circulation weakened. We'll see if a new circulation develops, but if it does, it's going to be further east, closer to Highway 79 and Marquez again. For what it's worth, the hail core just spiked again, like a lot aloft. So a new updraft push is going up, which may result in another surge of rotation. We'll see. The storm itself has been weakening over the last 20 minutes, but it keeps trying to send up new pulses that keep it going for a while longer. We'll see. But again, this is the which way the wind's blowing mode over the last hour. You can see we've been dealing with stuff all afternoon. I could turn storm reports on at this point. That may at least give us some inkling, and now they haven't put any of those in there yet, but again, just all sorts of mischievous behavior with this thing. Back over to, let's just look at the state view while we have a minute. And for what it's worth, as I turn the radar back on, we're going to have a mostly quiet night across the state. This isn't going to be like the last few nights where we've either had a complex of storms or storms continuing into the late night. At this point, I'd be surprised if we had any new storms develop. You could see that storm in the big country, the cap came in and squished it. You could see the anvil blow off, or what was left of that storm went away. That's actually pretty cool to see. Storms in East Texas are weakening. Storms in northwest Texas are gone. We've still got that nasty supercell near Altus, Oklahoma with tornadoes. And we've got this storm near Marquez, which has been downtrending in intensity, but still remains capable of large hail, strong winds, and maybe a tornado. And then the storm in the Concho Valley near Mason, moving into the hill country, that's kind of slowly weakening. It's been holding its own. That brought baseball-sized hail and damaging winds to San Angelo earlier. But again, we're probably going to be... The storm should be gone by 10 or 11, and the night will be quiet. And then for what it's worth, tomorrow, I can show that real quick. Here's the severe weather outlook for tomorrow. Yeah, we've got another chance for at least isolated to scattered severe storms tomorrow. Here's the tornado risk for tomorrow, very low. So, again, we may have a few storms again tomorrow across portions of northeast Texas, the Arklatex, North Texas, even into central Texas. And if we do, we may not have many storms, but the storms we have could once again produce really big hail, localized damaging winds, but the low-level wind shear tomorrow is going to be a lot weaker. So the tornado threat tomorrow will be lower. Still, big hail, strong winds, and then for what it's worth, Saturday, looking like a regional severe weather tornado outbreak. Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, perhaps extending into Texas. The southward extent of the severe weather threat on Saturday is questionable, but if we have a storm south of the Red River on Saturday, it's probably going to be a bad, nasty one with all modes of severe weather. Same thing goes for Oklahoma, Kansas. Parts of this risk area will probably get upgraded to a level 4 risk in the coming day or two for parts of Oklahoma, Kansas. Here in Texas, the only reason we're not under this higher risk farther south is because the cap's going to be stronger. There are questions on how far south storms will be able to develop or unzip along the dry line. But if confidence increases, we're going to have storms farther south, those severe weather outlines will definitely be expanded farther south. We'll see. But again, back to the current view across the state. Here you go. You can see storm in the Concho Valley moving into the hill country. That could have hail. Storm now in central Texas / the northeastern Brazos Valley near Marquez. That could have hail, maybe a spin-up tornado still just northwest of Marquez. That storm, honestly, is losing its organization, but is still trying to hang on. We've got a storm that is pretty much gone now in Rusk County, northeast of Henderson, and it's donezo. It's gone. So we're going to be done here soon, probably, unless that cluster of storms at southwest Oklahoma tries to make a run at us. But right now, it doesn't look like it. These storms aren't moving very quick, but we'll keep an eye on it just in case. There are more storms developing in southwest Oklahoma, and if they're able to organize into a cluster, that cluster may start moving southeast more quickly. Could impact portions of western Texas and northwest Texas tonight, but it is not a high probability scenario. All right, let's get back to and the reason we're here. We've got a tornado warning continuing for portions of Leon and northeastern Robertson County until 8:30 p.m. A severe thunderstorm with a history of producing tornadoes is kind of lollygagging northwest of Marquez now, southwest of Hewitt. Storm motion's been off to the east at about 15 miles an hour. I mean, we do have pockets of rotation still, but honestly, this storm is looking more and more anemic. It appears to be weakening, and hopefully that trend will continue. It still has the potential to produce a spin-up tornado northwest of Marquez. We still could see quarter to maybe ping-pong ball size hail north of Marquez on Highway 79 to near Hewitt, but the storm itself does appear to be slowly weakening, which hopefully means we'll be done with this soon. If it keeps weakening, maybe they'll cancel the tornado warning early. Because for now, and I emphasize for now, the rotation is much, much weaker. It's harder to find, which is good. That's what you want to see. But yeah, there's still some large hail with this. Some localized damaging wind gusts. And I'll just put this on a half-hour loop. You can see the storm has trended further north. Notice how it's shrinking. The extent of its precipitation shield is shrinking. So really, yeah, we could still get a quick spin-up tornado northwest of Marquez. But I think we're coming down the hill here. Which would be nice. But again, yeah, we could have another round of isolated to widely scattered severe supercells tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon to Friday evening. The Hill Country, Central Texas, North Texas, Arklatex, Northeast Texas. Saturday, we could have another round of severe storms in parts of North Texas, Texoma, and the Arklatex. And then it looks like we're going to quiet down for severe weather chances for a while. We're going to have a cold front come in on Memorial Day Monday, knocking temperatures down to the 80s, low 90s, northern half of the state, with, a drier air mass, so it'll knock humidity down too. Southern half of the state, unfortunately, summer of hell number 3 has begun. And it is going to be hot. We're about 2 to 3 weeks early for some of these really, really hot temperatures we're seeing across the south. Like low temperatures in the 80s hot. That's not great for overnight heat relief. And then high temperatures in the afternoon of, hundreds, even hundreds and up above 110. But hopefully, I'm hopeful we're on the downtrend here. When I start having a lack of things to talk about on live streams, that's good. Tornado warning does remain in effect. Let's just say north of Marquez, along the north of Highway 7, up towards Hewitt on Highway 79. The potential for quarter to golf ball size hail. Strong winds. And if this storm really is weakening, it may push out strong winds as it weakens. But at the same time, we are still seeing pulses try to keep this thing going. You can see how the hail cores kind of come back a little bit over the last 5 to 10 minutes. We'll see. This thing may still be around for a while in terms of at least hail. So again, it's 8:10 p.m. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. We'll go ahead and just zoom out. You can see we had a storm move through southern Smith County towards Henderson. That storm's gone. We have a storm just northwest of Marquez that's had a history of tornadoes. Still could get a quick spin-up tornado, but that potential is starting to come down. There could still be some nasty hail, quarter to golf balls on Highway 79 a couple miles north of Marquez. We've got a thunderstorm west of Mason in the hill country. That storm could have hail. It also kind of looks like it's at least slowly weakening. We had storms in the big country. Those are gone. And we've got a nasty cluster of storms up here in southwestern Oklahoma. We'll take a look at that. This put down a mile-wide nasty tornado southwest of Altus earlier. Definitely not seeing that now. Much more disorganized. Looks like a lot of storms have formed here, but if one of these are able to develop a new rappy hook or something, like this storm near Altus, if it's able to drop a nasty hook, probably see another tornado out of that. That activity remains well north of the Red River. If it were to organize into a cluster and turn southeast, the threat maybe to parts of northeastern Wilbarger and northern Wichita counties, Vernon to Burke Burnett, may increase in a few hours if they approach the Red River, but for now those storms are moving mostly off to the east. So I am hopeful we're going to have a pretty quiet night across the state. This storm is now north of Marquez. My concern is diminishing for the city of Marquez and Centerville. If you're along and south of Highway 7, you are clear. You can come out from your shelter. Seeing a bit of rotation still with this storm approaching Highway 79, a couple miles north of Marquez. This storm could still produce a spin-up tornado, even though it is slowly weakening. It still could put a quick spin-up tornado down. Maybe quarter to golf ball size hail, localized damaging winds. The storm itself is moving east, maybe east-northeast at about 15 miles an hour. It's not moving very much. It's raining in Centerville. It's raining in Hewitt. Maybe a bit of hail on 79 just southwest of town. Could have slightly bigger hail on Marquez, north of Highway 7, and if we had a tornado, it would likely be in proximity of Highway 79 and Long Hollow Road. Why is the dew point 15 below zero in El Paso? 90 over negative 15. Humidity of 1%. Well, that explains the fire danger in the western quarter of the state. Goodness gracious. So again, I'm hoping this storm is going to keep weakening. I mean, it's steady state right now. It does have weak rotation. It has probably some quarter to maybe ping pong ball size hail. Strong winds, heavy rainfall. A lot of lightning right now. I'll give it that. It's shooting out a lot of lightning. But back to the which way the wind's blowing mode. Again, you can see we do have some modest rotation. And it's still got a pretty interesting reflectivity structure. But at this point, we're just sitting here watching it. We'll go back. I'll turn on the loop so at least you can get a sense of the timing. But again, tornado warning continues until 8:30 p.m. for portions of, at this point, this is in Leon County. Robertson County, you're clear. This is a tornado warning. Highway 79 between Marquez and Hewitt. east to almost Interstate 45. You can see how the storm's kind of being pushed north by the upper level winds. That's occurring as the thunderstorm's updraft is weakening, and it's becoming susceptible to these strong winds aloft, which is why most storms are moving northeast today, or at least, in this area they were. But again, yes, we still have some rotation. County Road 344, County Road 382, coming up to Highway 79 and Busy Bee Lane. The potential does exist for a quick spin-up tornado. I don't think we've got, at this point, violent, long-track, strong tornadoes. I think we're back to the dip and daisy, quick spin-up tornadoes down for 15 seconds, enough to damage trees and roofs. But still, a tornado warning is a tornado warning. I don't know if the weather service would extend this past 8:30 based on what it looks like right now. We'll see what it looks like here in the next 15 minutes. But clearly, again, we are starting to calm down, which is good. I'm just looking and analyzing some radar data here off screen. But hopefully we're going to be done here shortly. After another fairly busy day across portions of central Texas. Again, it only takes one storm, and that's what we've mostly been dealing with in central Texas today. Just one storm. But all it takes is the one storm. And again, we may be doing the same thing tomorrow. We may only have a few storms across parts of North Texas, the Hill Country, Central Texas, into Texoma, Northeast Texas. But whatever storms there are, they're going to be in an extremely volatile air mass for big hail and strong winds. The tornado threat tomorrow looks low to very low, but definitely the potential for some impactful storms with hail again. But again, I am hoping we're going to be done with this tornado warning by 8:30. And again, we'll go back out. Let's look at the state. I'll turn the radar on. Yeah, as we get to dark, you're losing the satellite data, but the cloud data still looks cool. I'll just bop this back to this afternoon. It's, 8 o'clock, so we'll do a 4-hour loop just so you can see what it's looked like this afternoon. You can see we've had storms in northwest Texas, the eastern panhandle, the big country, the Concho Valley, kind of moving into the hill country now. That storm is weakening. We've had storms in central Texas, East Texas, and everything's falling apart. Main complex of storms now in southwest Oklahoma, and those are mainly moving east right now, away from the Red River, which makes me happy. I guess we can switch up and take a look at the live feeds. Out of Oklahoma, Adam Lucio's up in Oklahoma right now. They've been documenting. A lot of our chasers were up in Oklahoma today. That's where the sizable risk for tornadoes was. This risk we had in Central Texas was more of a conditional low probability scenario, but I mentioned it in my morning forecast because I recognized the potential, and that ended up verifying. But again, there's been nasty tornadoes in southwestern Oklahoma this afternoon, southwest of Altus, very large and at times photogenic, fortunately over mostly rural areas, which is, the goal of storm chasing. You don't want stuff going through towns, injuring and hurting people, or, hitting anything, really. But I think we've already been posting some of those visuals out of Oklahoma on our social media channels. But the good news is the storm north of Marquez is weakening. Rotation is almost gone, so I do not see them extending this tornado warning. And if you're in Centerville, you're going to be fine. If you're in Marquez, you're clear. If you're north of Marquez, you've still got this strong storm here. Let me knock this back down to now. You've still got this strong storm. It could still have maybe some nickel to quarter size hail, localized damaging winds over 60 miles an hour, heavy rain. It cannot completely rule out a very weak, brief spin-up tornado, but the storm is dying. It's slowly weakening. I do not think they're going to extend this tornado warning past 8:30. And the only other storm in Texas we're dealing with right now is this thunderstorm northeast of Junction near Mason. Mason, this storm could be dropping quarter to nickel size hail in the city of Mason. Worst of the hail southwest of town. This storm should continue to weaken. I do not expect this storm to make it down to Highway 290 in Fredericksburg unless something really weird happens. But good news is that storm's weakening. The storm north of Marquez is weakening. And unless something drastically changes, I do not think they're going to put a new tornado warning on this. I mean, there is still some very weak rotation. I cannot completely rule out a spin-up tornado, but we're heading in a good direction. So what we're going to do with this is we'll let the music play. Well, actually, let's do this. Let me ask him. See what he wants to do. Our content manager. At this point, I think a few of our storm chasers are actually stuck in the mud in southwest Oklahoma. If that's the case, I may have to go down there with a tow strap and pull some of them out. All right, let me make sure things are set up on my end. And again, this storm near Hewitt continuing to weaken. Still some weak rotation, maybe some nickel-size hail. The storm near Mason will continue to slowly weaken as it moves southeast. All right. But the good news is we should be about it. So we're going to go ahead and probably, well, we'll keep an eye on it for just a second. All right. So again, most of tonight we're going to be quiet. Most of tomorrow we're going to be quiet. The storm near Mesa moving southeast towards Fredericksburg. If it manages to get there, maybe a bit of hail, but it should dissipate in the next 2 hours. The storm near Hewitt continuing to weaken. I do not expect a new tornado warning with that. That storm may be completely gone by 9:30. And the way it looks now, we're going to have a mostly quiet night and a mostly quiet Friday until tomorrow afternoon, when another round of isolated to widely scattered severe thunderstorms with the potential of very large, damaging hail, strong wind gust, and maybe a tornado develops. Those will weaken late tomorrow evening. And those of you in Oklahoma into Texoma, Saturday afternoon, we could be busy. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break from live coverage. If y'all are watching on YouTube, you're not going to have to do a thing. We're just going to send you right to our Weather Chase streams where you can keep watching what's going on from our storm chasers in the field. Everyone else, hey, head on over to our YouTube, Texas Storm Chasers or Texas Weather Center. Better yet, head on over to the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app and our website. You can keep watching live storm chasing and our weather channel. All right, y'all have a good evening. God bless. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon.